I even prayed it. The Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
An autopsy of a murder victim in Dale County reveals that 57-year-old Sherry Clark was tied up and cut with a knife in her own home before her death. Clark did not show up for work at the Avis car rental at the Dothan Regional Airport, which alerted authorities to check on her. Clark's cause of death was from blunt force trauma to the head. 29-year-old James Johnson is now facing charges for the murder of Clark. Johnson has a criminal record and has spent time in prison. Prosecutors are now asking the judge to deny bond for Johnson based on Anaya's law. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage pre-approval letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's Conversational Radio Show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here on a fine Thursday. And we're changing up our day a little bit here. Of course, Eddie Bader he came in on 2 wheels. How you doing today, Eddie?
Another electrical day, Joey.
Oh, no.
Another electrical project day. I've got one more left.
Oh,
hence me dressed up.
Yeah, no, but I like the camo short.
Yeah. Lots of compliments on those today.
Those are pretty nice. You keep a lot in those pockets there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Joining us now, we have City Councilman, Councilor Andrew Szymanski. Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Different day today, but that's okay.
Change it up. It's fine. It's been kind of a whirlwind of guests and news coming a mile a minute. We haven't focused on the city very much. So let's start though with what are some good developments in your mind? Since maybe we last talked, were there some things, like even small projects, were like, okay, we're going in the right direction?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of calls about this just because people weren't aware, but we have an agreement with the Waterworks Department where if they do cuts into our roads to do work on water mains, water lines, that type of stuff, they're supposed to go back and pave those roads and fix them back up. And guess what? That's what's happening. We've had, at least in my district, we've had some positive work done. Mulberry Street, right off of the interstate, got repaved. Felder, which is a nice cut through the Cloverdale area, got repaved. Myrtle Woods getting some work done over there. So there's definitely that. And then also, we've been talking about some of the kind of the economic development things that have been happening, but also just looking at just overall the events and activities that are happening in the city. We're excited to see so much, us continue to grow, and the fall is obviously one of those times where people are getting back outside and doing things, which has been great. Been really happy with some of the work in our neighborhoods. And then, I mean, quite candidly, we continue to have at least more positive. I'm not going to say we fixed anything by any means, but we're having more positive conversations about public safety. The Montgomery Area Crime Suppression Initiative, with the help of Aaliyah and the Sheriff's Department, has been something that people are tangibly feeling. And I know this always gets Joey excited, but I, again, keep seeing motorcycle cops out there.
I've seen them. I've seen more than... I've seen them.
More than he wants
More
to.
than I want to now. Now I've got to be cautious again.
We've been seeing that. We've been seeing things like an increase in just ticket writing on basic things. And, you know, there are some areas, some thoroughfares that are always going to feel like racetracks, but it does feel like we are making some positive movement in reminding people that we have a presence. I've been told that we're about to have one of the largest recruitment classes coming into the police academy that we've had over the past few years. So, you know, a lot of credit to that focus on that comes from the feedback that came, you know, in all the conversations we were having last spring, and the ball has not been dropped. We've been focused on that, and I'm very, very proud of all of the men and women in law enforcement, the work the mayor's office done, the county and the sheriffs, and then Leah as well.
Yeah, I've noticed just with like the ticketing, the interstate, like the basic 85 in between, say, like Ann Street or Mulberry Street and all the way past Middling, like you're seeing state troopers all the time.
All the time.
And like 2 or 3 sometimes just waiting.
Yeah,
And
I've seen a
it's
lot more law
nuts.
enforcement, which I'm a guy, when I get tickets, I complain, but you know what? I'm glad to see law enforcement right now.
Yeah,
I really am.
It alleviates, you know, it changes the way we feel. And, you know, one of the big things I think I talk to neighborhoods about is they do deserve to feel, you know, safe in their homes. We had a very, you know, I know it's multi-agency, but the sting that they did on the house where they were producing Glock switches, and they pulled 75 Glock switches from hitting the street, plus all the manufacturing equipment around that. That's real, you know, like, that is happening in our community. And so to see that kind of response, to tell people we are going after those things. And I've been told that using federal statutes to go after those people, because that has no place here. It doesn't matter what your opinion is on anything. There's no place for things like those types of weapons on our street. And so that's a good development for us.
Oh, that recent, and there was video of people hiding behind cars. The recent shooting there in Tuskegee, that is horrifying.
And the one in Birmingham,
Yeah.
the one outside that nightclub. I mean, a video of that, and just hearing how fast. And I saw the sheriff's department. I think it was House Rep Ensler was actually at the sheriff's firing range, just see what that looked like. That is one of the least accurate things you've ever seen. So as soon as that trigger goes, it is indiscriminate in the way that those bullets,
like you can't stop it.
No, it just it's insane. It's
so
insane.
you're getting that sort of motion.
That's why that's why the collateral damage is always so much worse than the actual target, is because it's almost impossible to control, and it's not something people are going out and like training on. Obviously,
right. They're just shooting out of. Well,
so there's that, and you know, now we're getting into the holiday season, which is good. And another time, you know, with all the stuff that is kind of circulating around, you know, as we kind of have cleared the budgeting process now, learned a lot from that. But, you know, we get into the holidays and some hopeful cooler weather.
Now, you mentioned economic development. Can we just go through a few examples of what you're talking about?
Yeah, so we've had, well, there's a couple of things. One is, and I know there's, you know, we always talk about this, but, you know, there has been some conversations, and the next round of development out at Montgomery Whitewater has occurred, which is great because now there's more than just on the water activities. There's all of this wonderful stuff. And again, in year 1.5, we'll really see how this next year gets embraced by the community and by tourism. We're also having some conversations about the developments and the movement that's happening down in Hope Hall. And we've been having some conversations. You've probably seen it at council, a little bit of controversy around some solar farming out there, but honestly, moving forward on the Meta project, the Diageo project, the Amazon project, the FedEx project, Hope Hall is a unique area, and I think is going to continue to have major investment into it. We have utilities, we have access to great water, which is really important in these data centers. And so we're seeing that, and it seems like there is at least movement in towards the positive over at Jackson Hospital. So.
Well, and we'll get a little more detail into the Whitewater Park in a second, but I was told with the solar farms, when you look at some other models, it's also like people like have shepherds, like sheep?
Yeah, so actually, and I wasn't on the trip because my regular job, but on Wednesday, I know some of the counselors and some members from the city went out to a facility in Georgia where the one of the companies that's coming in has a facility. That place out there, the company Silicon Ranch, they're like the second largest owner and herder of sheep in the Southeast. One of the things that 20 years ago we were doing with solar was obviously, you want to keep the weeds and stuff from growing up over the panels. We were just using a lot of chemicals to do that, right? And the response from environmental groups, from neighborhoods, from local farmers that were adjacent to properties was that's terrible. We don't want to do that. So they've actually found a way where they are using livestock for grass and weed control out there. And they said that soon they are going to be going to the USDA to become one of the largest producers of, I don't know what it's called, sheep meat, mutton. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
About mutton.
And lamb's good.
Yeah,
Delicious.
yeah. So that it is. What people have to remember too is that in 2024, right, in this world that we're in, a lot of these large corporate companies come from states and areas where they have board of directors, board of governors that ask them to invest in their kind of their footprint, their carbon footprint, right? No matter what your thought is about that, it's just that is a mandate that they have by their leadership.
Sure.
And so when you bring something like a Meta project in that is an $800 million facility, one of the things that Meta does is they try and find offsets for the energy footprint that it takes to power something of that nature.
Yeah, I in my own personal opinion, I think I like solar better than like some of these massive wind farms, in terms of
just not dependable wind farms.
Yeah, and I think when you have it dedicated to a particular project, that makes a lot of sense, and that's cool that you could bring in a lot of livestock to handle grass and grazing, and there you go. I think that's I know that when last time I went to that area, there were a lot of signs about the solar farm. So there are some folks out there
not happy
with it.
No,
at all.
Totally. And there is something to be said about the environment that you're in. If you want to live out in the country, yes, but the issue that we're having out there is that it is such the land out there is such an opportunity for development, and it was going to become something. Right. So whether it became a UPS facility with 18 wheelers moving in and out of it all day, whether it became a warehousing for something else, this is private land that's sold by a private landowner. Right. This is not like this was city property or, and so and working through that process in a different way. You saw off of Ray Thornton Road, there was interest in having a development out there that was going to bring some kind of like some strip mall kind of type of development out there. There were a lot of queues, we call them. When you place a queue on a development agreement, means like you can't have gas stations. There was no lounges, no billiard halls, no liquor stores, all this stuff. Even with the list of queues that were on that license, when it came to by the time it got to the council, there had been so much feedback from the neighborhoods, the adjacent areas about how much they didn't want it, that it didn't even make the agenda. The developer decided that it wasn't a prime area and it wasn't worth the fight. So there are some times where, we can look at that and respond to the needs of a neighborhood. And sometimes when you're out in a property where 1,000 acres out in Hope Hall, it's a little bit different. So.
And that's the other thing I noticed. I noticed those signs, and I noticed there's a lot of undeveloped land out here.
Yeah. A lot of those same people, though, they were against when Hyundai came out. I mean, they didn't want Hyundai out there.
Well,
so, and you're right. They're people that lived out in the country their whole life. They're kind of out there because they didn't want the city life. And unfortunately, there is progress, and you can't build a Hyundai plant inside the city of Montgomery. And the closest place around was Hope Hall. And like you said, it's private land.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the Whitewater Park, I think it's pretty, I'm not going out over my skis here to say it didn't make money this last year. I think there's something in operating budget under something like $2.5 million, maybe even lowballing that. And I'm wondering, like, how long do you, just on the city front, would the city be willing to continue to add extra funds into that from our own budget? Of course, they're going to be going to the county and the state as well. And if you are willing to invest more in, I think they have zip line development, these sorts of things, like, what is the hope of a result? Like, what's the expectation in terms of a return in making money?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like the Biscuit Stadium, right? Any type of large project like this that costs that much money up front is a long-term investment into the community. Now, one thing I will note about the Whitewater Park right off the bat, I've been out there for lunch, I've been out there for dinners, I've been out there when they have the free concerts, all the stuff out there. So if you haven't been out there, one thing that you don't see is how many people from Maxwell and Gunter are there with their families. I was there just the other day. And part of the bet that was being made out there, because the complaints about the quality, the properties out there, Powder Magazine Park was having all sorts of issues. So you make this kind of investment, and with things like hotels coming out there and more development coming to that area, even talks about redefining how all the roads and stuff feed into that area. I think it's going to be a process. And I think, when you look at Charlotte, which has been around for now, I think 7 years, and I cannot remember if I have this right, but I think it was either in year 4 was their first year where they were actually like a profitable business out there. But they're operating, they have people that are working out there, they have jobs, they have the Christmas stuff coming, they have and so the way I see it is like, look, what do you want us to do? You want us to say that you want us to not put in more support? I mean, their entire cooperative district was able to get bond money to help finance all of that. It got contributions from the state, the county.
Education fund?
Did not get from the Education Trust Fund.
They wanted to.
They wanted to, yeah.
People made a stink.
But, so from an economic development side, and look, not only that, but the person that played a huge role in getting Montgomery Whitewater here is now your Secretary of Commerce for the state of Alabama. So,
economic development.
Economic development, yeah. So, I understand some of the apprehension. I think a lot of the apprehension comes from people that haven't been out there. And it's the same thing we've talked about since day one when I came here is that you can't do stuff like that until you fix X is not a way that high functioning cities work, in my opinion.
Well, and I just wonder, will it ever make money?
Right.
Well, I mean, but I think.
Will we ever be able to afford it? Not necessarily making money, but if we're losing $2.5 million or whatever a year, how long can we afford to do that?
Well, again, it's kind of depending on what it's returning to the community, and how long are we? I mean, if you had said, I talked to somebody, we've talked about this before about the Biscuit Stadium, right? Everybody thought the Biscuits was the worst idea. Why do we need Biscuits in downtown? I heard some people saying that about the MPAC and the Performing Arts Center, like. Some of these things in 3 to 5 years, when they work, then they're just going to work. And right now, a year and a half in, even a business, like even startup businesses and restaurants get 2 to 3 years to get to that point of actually making money. Are they paying their payroll? Yes. Are they doing what they need to do out there? Yes. Are they a huge draw for people, especially who are not from Montgomery, stationed at Maxwell and Gunter? Right now, yes. And so we have to see where this kind of rolls through.
Well, I mean, I guess, I have Doge on the mind, the Department of Government Efficiency that with Vivek and Elon Musk. So part of me is wondering how efficient the operation is out there. And I don't mean like things obviously that you practically need, like chemical treatments and water and pumping, all that stuff. I wonder about the power bill. I wonder about consulting fees, certain things that could it's probably above your pay grade. It's going to be at the state level. I just wonder about, is the money actually being spent in an efficient way? Because when you have this cooperative district where essentially it sounds like the state, the county, the city will keep putting money in because they want it to work, that's a nice way to get money if you're on the receiving end of that money. And you got to wonder, what are you actually doing for all that?
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at like even in Birmingham now, like the city and the state and the county has skin in the game in the brand new amphitheater that's going to be opening out there. They had skin in the game when they were doing Progressive Field. They had skin in the game when they did the repairs to Rickwood Stadium. Like these large types of infrastructure pieces that cities invest in. I mean, I remember when people have asked us about whether or not it's worth investing into the planetarium and stuff like that. And, with the amount of school kids that are going through aquariums, like there are things that sometimes end up on a balance sheet because they are offering something that the city can't offer in another way or would want to pay for or have our own personnel. Now, also when it comes to operations, like they are a cooperative district that has their own board that is being governed by that. To my knowledge, as of right now, the city, we helped negotiate the land deal to put to get the land together. We've made one monetary investment, and since I've been on council, we have not invested any more money into.
How much was it? $10 million?
Yeah, and that was what, three or 4 years ago, maybe.
And then I think the biggest pot of cash, the land transfer is worth a lot, but the biggest pot of cash was, I think, for the Porch Creek. I think it was like $45 million, something like that. So it just, I wonder, down the road, how does this work out? I'm not necessarily poo-pooing the idea of the project altogether. I'm more worried that it could become a money pit or a great way for certain people to, well, make a nice living. And what are you actually doing?
Yeah.
So it's something I'm not like, just obviously it's built, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that figure that was floating around the scenes of, they've lost a good bit of money just this first operating year. It came to mind, like, how long can this go on and how do we improve it?
Yeah. No, I think it's all valid. I just want to, make sure people know that we have to give these things runways, right? We do economic development packages for business all the time, where we're doing tax abatements, we're doing, infrastructure reimbursement dollars and all that. And all of that is something that we think because that we are bringing benefit to the community. And yes, we are using dollars to do that. They have a big year this coming up here, and I was just out there. I was actually on a raft last Thursday, a week ago, with my Alabama Leadership Initiative class. People from all across the state who were there being like, this thing's incredible. Either A, why didn't I know about it? To which I say, right, we need to tell more people about this. And two, as they said, I wish our community would invest in something that was of this scale, of this quality for us to be able to interact with. Is it going to be everybody's cup of tea? No. It's not.
No.
You can be honest about that. But just like with a baseball stadium, I think it's important for us to give this thing some life, give it some support, and then see where it ends down the road.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation with Andrew Szymanski here. That's 334-272-9228. I got to hit a break, but first, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and their Pest Pro. Ashley and her team are ready to help you out with any and all of your pest control needs. Could be it's a quick emergency job. You need it done like now. You're worried about, say, everybody coming over for Thanksgiving. You don't want ants in the kitchen.
You don't want ants in the kitchen, nor do you want La Cucarachas walking around.
Nor do you want people having to walk through webs and webs because the spiders are, I think it's, especially Rich Thomas says it's going to cool down. That spider start popping up, and then all those other critters start trying to find a warm spot inside. So
you don't want to have all those over for Thanksgiving.
No. But, of course, you can also just make them your everyday pest control company.
Easiest thing to do, Joey. You just call them up. You'll talk to them maybe 2 or 3 minutes. They'll get a little bit of information from you. And from then on out, like they do me, they call me up about an hour or two before they're heading out. And afterwards, they call me up, let me know everything's just fine.
You sound like you've done this before.
I've done it many a times.
So call them up today, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hope you're having a great afternoon. It is JT live on location at City Pond, 4501 Atlanta Highway in Montgomery for the Blue Water Broadcasting Holiday Food Drive. This is your opportunity to pay it forward and donate non-perishable food items like canned food, rice, pasta, anything that would help stock the Heart of Alabama Food Bank for the holiday season. They serve counties all around our listening area, and today's your opportunity to stop by and make a donation to help out. Now, you can come on by City Pond. Again, we're on location broadcasting till 12:30 this afternoon during the lunch hour. You can also help fill up those barrels at our other sponsors like Rick's Jewelers in Prattville, Ask Telemarketing off Carmichael in Montgomery, Riverside Chevrolet in Wetumpka, and Prattville Carpet right there on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville. For all the info, check out the Blue Water Broadcasting Facebook page. We'll see you at City Pond today till 12:30.
Did you know that hundreds of independent pharmacies have already closed nationwide and Adams Drugs is fighting to keep our doors open? The issues are clear. Lack of accountability and transparency from drug manufacturers and insurance companies. We urgently need your help to ensure Adams Drugs and other independent pharmacies survive. Please contact your local and state representatives today and demand they support our fight to stay open. You can find their contact info at adamsdrugs.net. Thank you for your support. We look forward to serving you and your family for years to come.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money?
Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit.
You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And MediShare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before November 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is November 15th. So call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE, 855-51-BIBLE.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. That cold front that has been moving through the state will exit the state this afternoon. The risk of showers will fade away. Look for gradual improvement later with a high today up to about 74. Mostly clear, chilly tonight, overnight low 48. Tomorrow, Friday, we may not make it to 70 degrees. I've got us in the upper 60s, lots of sunshine. Chilly Friday night with clear skies, mid-40s by dawn Saturday morning. We'll be in the lower 70s for a high on Saturday, 74 Sunday, 40s at night, lots of sunshine, great tailgating weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back into the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Andrew Szymanski, counselor Andrew Szymanski here in the studio, and we've got a few calls rolling in. Let's go to Boomer T. Hey, Boomer T.
Hey, Boomer.
Good afternoon. Mr. Councilman, let me ask, first off, let's start off like this. That's a $98 million project. Okay? I don't give a darn if you put a rope swing. I don't care if you put a trampoline. I don't care if you put a go-kart track down there. That was a money-making deal, and you, before you got on the council, there's a whole lot of people down there in that office, Todd, Elton Dean, Gary Kaiser, that's people like that. That thing should have went out there to the Garrett Coliseum where it would have been a big giant hit. But no, that was a property deal where everybody in that group made large amounts of money. How do I know this? I had a piece of property on Bell Street right down there, and they bought that little piece of property from me because they had to have my property to make the land deal with the government to swap all that land over. Now, the first 6 months they were open, they paid a food consultant, Mr. Bob Parker, from Dreamland. They paid this man 6 months just to be a food consultant, okay? They have to now, and you're sitting there blowing smoke, Captain, but let me tell you something. I'm glad you go down there, but let me tell you something. They're on a cash basis with the food people, okay? When the truck backs up to unload that groceries, they got to pay cash, Captain. There ain't no checks. There ain't no credit cards no more coming out of there. How do I know that? Because one of the food brokers is still one of my food brokers in my catering business. So first off, it's $98 million, Captain. You can sit there and sweet talk it, because let me tell you something. Y'all depending too much on Maxwell Air Force Base. Well, let me tell you something. There's a whole lot of people that don't go down there that come to my beautiful Lake Jordan right here, and they rent my boat. They come ride their people's friends' boats, and they refuse to go down there because of it. And what's going to happen, the Lord forbid, I hope it doesn't ever happen. First time there's an incident down there with one military person. And the base commander says, all personnel. I don't know if you know what that means, Captain. You know anybody who's in the military or not. But when it says all personnel, that means everybody, Jack. The janitor don't even go on that property. And then what you going to do? So stop blowing smoke. I hope it's going to work, but it's not. Remember, $98 million, sir.
So Boomer T,
how can we justify this, sir? Tell me how you can justify spending more money with a rope swing and how much more stuff you going to put down there? First off, people thought it was a water park. They didn't give me a rapid. They thought you were going to be there riding the lazy river, having a good time, getting a big old slurpee. Man, I don't know. You need to just stop. Stop. Everybody with the city of Montgomery in the offices needs to just stop lying to the people in Montgomery that pay hard-earned taxes and pay hard-earned dollars for the county and for the city. And y'all continue to screw and waste money, but you don't give a stuff about crime. And if you can't get it through your head, it's like the Democrats. People want to change because they're sick of crime and they're sick of the border and they're sick of not having no groceries. People are getting sick of Montgomery because of the crime. Why don't we spend more money on that and worry about if we're going to get a rope swing down there so we can swing across the creek? If you want to run down there, run down the river and get on a tree and swing out like me and Eddie used to do with kids. Guys, I got to go. God bless y'all, and God bless America. Stay on, Montgomery.
Classic Boomer T rant. How would you like to respond?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. And look, whether you think I'm blowing smoke or not, but part of this as well, as we talked about earlier, the Maxwell piece, you may not think it's that important. That is really important. Actually, I was just when I was at that conference last week, and they were talking about all the military investments that are happening throughout the state. And one of the things that positions us well is the way that we embrace and provide quality of life opportunities for those people on base, their families and whatnot. You're seeing this in Huntsville like crazy. And, so there's that side of it. Look, I heard for years how terrible that area was, the amount of crime, how dirty it was. And if in 3 to 5, 10 years that transforms that entire area, we're all going to be much happier that we made the investment early on. Also, as I said, this is just something that cities have to invest in, because we can't stay stagnant. And like positioning it where it is right next to the interstates, yes, it's expensive. Everything's expensive right now. So I don't know if I'm necessarily blowing smoke. I think it's something that I think is a great fixture here for the city, and I think it's something that people can really embrace and use. And I think, to have free access to be able to go out there whenever you want to there, walk your dog, go have lunch, go have all that, we talk about all the things Montgomery doesn't have. And I hear it from my peers all the time. We're constantly comparing ourselves to the Greenvilles, the Chattanoogas, the Birminghams, the Mobiles, the Columbuses, and all that. I don't know what Columbus would have said when they first were putting in their whitewater installation off the river. There was a massive investment. People said no one's going to come to Columbus and do that, and guess what? People are doing that. So there's always going to be people that don't believe in it, and I understand that. But it is something that I believe in. I think it's going to yield good things in the future.
Well, and he did say that this is before you're on the council, the origins and birth of this thing, and especially also the cost overruns, and let's say
for sure,
that's not even part of what you're looking at right now. You're more looking at this thing's built. And my question going forward, he did bring it up. I do wonder sometimes when you have a very sweet deal, legally speaking, it's a very economic kind of development zone. Where does the incentive to economize come from?
Yeah.
And because it seems like folks are like, well, we don't have to cut costs at all.
Yeah.
I would like efficiency and not have, say, certain, I'm not even talking local folks, certain even bigger players in the state getting, a nice cash flow when it could operate at a much thinner budget.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely. And also, I like more visibility. I mean, I've made it known many times. I've talked to people over in the cooperative district that, look, I think that when you're driving up 65, how long it's going to be until you get to a Buc-ee's. We need to make it just as obvious that you're coming, how far away you are from a world-class installation that can give you a unique experience right here, right off the interstate in the city of Montgomery. And then the next part of that too, by the way, is that then it's got to translate into benefits for the rest of the city and the downtown economy as a whole. I mean, one thing that we should be keeping an eye on when it comes to Montgomery Whitewater is their impact and how much other businesses are being affected by their presence there. And the idea in years 3, 4, 5, 6, and beyond is that it's become such a strong attraction that people are not only coming off to go and use Whitewater, but they're getting their gas in Montgomery. We're continuing to use it as a motivation to clean up our gateways. So it really is more of a catalyst, I think, than an endpoint.
Let's go to, I guess this is Miss Love. Hey, Miss Love.
Hey, how y'all?
Good. How are you?
Councilman, you mentioned the water company, okay? I would like for you to please check. There's a problem in Montgomery. It happened to me, and I have met other people since I've been talking about it. It happened to them. Okay, when my hot water tank burst, yes, don't mind paying for them to come turn the water off, which I did. But for them to charge me for water the whole time my water was off and wasn't giving me water, I was going out there having somebody lift water and buying water for me. This is a problem, and I have met more than myself and other people who have had this problem. And I couldn't say anything because they already had money that I had paid in advance. So they just took what they want to. And when I asked for a record of it, I was told I couldn't get it. If we're not getting that water, why do we have to pay them that whole time? Mine was from December to way in March or April. Can you check on this for us? I'm not the only one. I met another old lady that did it too.
Yeah, I mean,
do it too.
I can definitely check on it. I don't have a good answer for why. I do know that there are certain other services that are attached to your water bill, like they're in charge of collecting our sanitation fees that then get sent over to the city. So I can definitely.
That's a different fee, sir.
Well, I know that's
broken down.
That's
right. He hears you.
The water bill and the garbage bill, and
right.
then that's two different things, sir.
Sure. So the best thing I can say is that
I'd like to talk to you more about
please
what happened to us, okay? And I hope to meet you out there on November the 25th out there on the Coliseum Boulevard. Come out there. It's going to be a festival. Santa Claus, music, and everything.
Well, that sounds lovely.
All y'all, come out there.
Well, I can't promise Joey's coming with me, but I will definitely try and be
I've
out
got
there
to
on
go
the 25th.
recharging my board pod. I appreciate the call, Miss Love.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And that's a tough problem, but
well, that the interactions with Waterworks is something that we are a good reference for, and we appoint people to the Waterworks board, and so just like whether it's in this forum or any other forum, I tell people like, you can reach out and ask questions. I had somebody who called me once about they were installing a pool and new filters and water lines and stuff like that. So there's definitely a way for us to play a communication role in there. Breakdowns of water bills I can definitely look into.
Let's go to Sam. Hey, Sam.
Hey, thanks for taking. Had to take you off the speaker.
Good.
Andrew, what I wanted, y'all said something earlier about the Whitewater Park itself and the value it adds,
Sure.
and the pride to the neighborhood. And absolutely. But what I wanted to compare it to, I think I heard here recently on the news, Oak Park in Montgomery was up for some money, possible renovation and whatnot. And I wanted to kind of compare it with that. There's not as much overhead, of course, with Oak Park, but it's a beautiful thing. Been there all my life, and did you have any thoughts on that? Am I making any sense?
I'm not quite sure what the core of your question is. Are you saying
okay.
that? Yeah. Can you rephrase that a little bit?
All right. Let me just start back over. Oak Park will add, of course, value in what it's not generating a lot of money, but it's sure is nice to have and to maintain. The Whitewater, yeah, it's a long-term project. I was just. Do I even have a question? No, man, I heard that about.
Are you worried about Oak Park not being funded because of funding going elsewhere?
That can figure into it, but I had not considered that. But I'm just going at it. Let me get off here, guys.
Well,
Okay,
let me say something to what I think you're trying to drive at too. Is that so? There's a couple things. One is that in the state of Alabama, Innovate Alabama came in. This huge initiative that the governor's office and all these entities did to explore ways for us to have more economic development in the state of Alabama, how to attract more industries, whether they be small industries, medium-sized, large industries. And one of the major things that was pointed out for our state is that we have a lot of opportunity in development of outdoor recreation assets across the state. I sit on the Innovate Alabama Outdoor Recreation Council, right? We oversee a massive amount of grant money that can get distributed to people that want to bring industries in. And our focus is specifically focused on outdoor recreation. So whether it be the new company that's building bass fishing kayaks up in Northeast Alabama, a company that's building, wants to come and manufacture new hammocks. And those are things that we are competitively going after. On the other side of that as well, part of what the Defense Department and people in the defense industries are saying is that the engineers and the civilian side of these bases, which is massive, those people, when they are coming from other places, are looking for opportunities and things, right? It's a modern workforce that's looking for different types of quality of life pieces. And right now, one of the biggest industries of quality of life for young professionals is outdoors, right? In a post-COVID world, we're finding people are wanting to be outdoors. And so I think we do need to invest in places like Oak Park. I know that there's been talk about pickleball coming. We've seen the improvements out at Lagoon, to the ball fields out there. All of that is part of this bid that all these places in Alabama are making to say, we have high quality things for companies to come and to bring their people here for. And also, this is something that has been studied and called out as a huge area of opportunity for our state.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's exactly. I had a feeling.
You got
it's all
there.
good, Sam.
You got us there.
You're still a dirty dog, though, Sam.
I know, but I had a feeling it was the right time to call. Also, I was one of those that was raised. My father worked railroad. I was downtown Montgomery all my life growing up. I remember buying groceries downtown. I remember shopping with my mother. My mother shopping and me, and I heard all my life people, you don't invest in downtown Montgomery because nobody. And it's nice to see the investment. All right, that's my 2 cents on that.
Appreciate it, Sam.
Y'all. Love y'all. All right.
Let's go to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler Days.
Hey, good afternoon. Just wanted to ask Andrew. Andrew, you know what the plan is, short term, long term, for continuing to let the state and county provide strength and rationale to our police department?
You mean the time? I do not know the timetable. So I know that the max is continuing on, but I have not been given a timetable or kind of what the long-term plan for that is as of today.
You know, that's taken away from the county patrols. It's taken away from state patrols having to do that. But other cities are managing this in a different way. And I'll give you an example of one. The Dallas voters approved a significant measure to the city's charter that will impact law enforcement services, including one that requires the hiring of 900 police officers.
Wow. And this is Dallas?
Dallas, Texas?
Yeah, Dallas, Texas. Yeah. One amendment will require the city to set aside 50% of future revenue growth to increase the number of officers at the Dallas Police Department. That's what concerns me about. We're depending on the county and the state to provide patrol in the city of Montgomery, that the city should figure out, and maybe they need to go to Dallas, but to figure out how, and it says in this article that they don't care whether it takes 200 years to get up to strength, but they're going to do whatever it needs to be done to provide public safety. And they're not depending on other law enforcement agencies to provide that. And I just think we need to do some forward thinking on this and have some really deep conversations about how long are you going to do this. I mean, is this going to be a 5-year plan, 3-year plan? I mean, has there been any discussion about this?
Well, as I said, I've not been given a long-term plan, but what I will say is that this kind of interaction, I was having a conversation with somebody in MPD, said that this kind of interaction happens. It was happening previously. Now it's in a more focused way, where we're intentionally using assets to combat some of the problems that residents businesses have been talking about. And so I think collaborative law enforcement is something that is kind of a hallmark of any major metropolitan area. But no, I don't have a timetable I could give you in that. And to the Dallas piece, I don't know enough about the ballot initiative, but it sounds interesting. And to your point about always finding new solutions to our problems, is something I'm.
And you mentioned earlier, how large is this new class coming in?
I don't know the number of people, but I know I was told it was one of, if not the largest, in like the past 2 or 3 years. So it's definitely encouraging.
Competitive space nationwide. Well, I appreciate it, Simpler Days.
Thank you, Simpler Days.
Have a good day.
And let's go to Chris. Hey, Chris.
Hey guys, good afternoon. I was just going to call in regards to the chief of police on Grayboy. Are we still paying somebody to go out there and find somebody? Or are we going to settle in on Chief Grayboy to take care of business?
Well, the last public safety update, there was a press conference that the mayor and Chief Grayboys had. I attended it, and they said that they are honing in on the process, but I have not been given a timetable on where they are in the selection process or any of that. That sits outside of council.
It's all in the mayor's office.
Why is that?
Because it's an appointed position in the city of Montgomery. Certain municipalities do a little bit different. Some it's appointed, some of it's contracted out, some of it will go through like a merit-based personnel process. So in Montgomery, it's always been an appointed position at the pleasure of the mayor.
But that also too, who's paying for the consulting group to go out there and find somebody?
Well, whenever there's any kind of consulting of feasibility studies or any kind, that comes out of the city budget.
So I don't understand why we're having to go through this process. We've already got somebody that's doing an okay job doing it.
Well, I will say, just so you know, like one thing that I was told by somebody in law enforcement was that the Fraternal Order of Police, also as kind of the group that represents police officers across the country, they want to see a robust process for the selection of police chiefs as well. So it's not like Montgomery is unique in having a search for police chief. That is something that is common pretty much anywhere. It's a huge position. And that's why there's people moving from departments to departments, and so it's not just something that is specific to Montgomery, but the appointment side of it is the way that Montgomery handles that selection.
Well, I mean, the problem I got is the mayor. He gave us a chief of police that was up for, I don't know, the consulting group didn't do their job. They knew that there were some issues with sexual misconduct. We ended up getting them anyways. I'm sure we paid money for that consultant to completely fail at their job, and think of me the same consulting group that's doing the same thing again. I mean, I think it's ridiculous. And on top of that, the Whitewater Park's done. It's a hole in the ground, and it's a great place. I've been out there myself. They have good events. It's a beautiful facility. I agree, and I hope it succeeds. The problem I have is, and I think for a lot of other people, is how much it's going to cost us over time. And secondly is, when we did that, we got rid of the homeless shelter there, the Salvation Army, and of course we still hadn't found anywhere to put that. And that's pretty obvious because now what they're doing, they're living underneath the streets, our overpasses. They're all over the city. There's trash all over the place. I had to go next door and yell enough about the overpass on Eastern Boulevard for them to do something about it. And that's my problem. And then you call, I'm about to rant here, but I call 311, which is that's a great place to call. I mean, I appreciate that we have it. But you call 311 and the lady says, well, sir, that's with the Alabama Department of Transportation. That falls under their guise. Well, the fact is, no, the city of Montgomery's policy is to allow people that are actually breaking state law to meander all over the state right-of-ways and trash up underneath the ground, underneath the overpasses and all over the street. And yet, somehow it's the Department of Transportation's problem. Well, it's not. It's the city of Montgomery's policies that have failed under Stephen Reed, but for some reason, we're just going to throw it at somebody else. It's their problem. Well, I don't understand. That's what I don't get. And by the way, that has to go down again to the fact we closed down a homeless shelter that was there on Maxwell Boulevard, which I understand why we did it, but we got to have a plan to put it somewhere else.
Yeah, well,
what's the plan?
So there's a couple things just to unpack there. One is, you're right. I mean, we need to have more beds available. The basic services for people that are not in homes is something that we have to step up and provide. We opened up the Montgomery Area Homeless Coalition Hub this year, which was a big step forward at the old WSFA building, which is in my district right off of Delano Road. Just to start addressing some of those needs. We've been working in partnership with agencies across the city to try and find some of the solutions to that. And to your point about 311, I will tell you this. I have been telling some of my residents that I'm also having a lot more success using the online 311 system. When you put in an online ticket, you get an account, you put your cell phone number in or your email address in there, you put your problem in, attach your pictures to it, and then they'll actually give you text updates. They'll tell you who the inspector is that's in charge of dealing with the issue. I know what you're talking about with the underpass is a little bit different, but at least just as a kind of for anybody that's listening, I'm finding that we're having a lot more success in tracking the 311 stuff. The department that handles that is sometimes getting 3,000 311 requests in a week, and so I know that there's can be some backup at times, but it still seems to be moving fairly effectively. But I would highly recommend we use the online system when using.
And what's the website?
It is. So you're gonna say this out loud. It's at the MontgomeryAL.gov website, and then if you look up 311, it'll take you to a page that has that. I'm sure Joey can put it out there, as well. Yeah. See, you got it. It's the first thing when you type in Montgomery 311, report an issue to 311. And then you go down and you hit that request, and then it's either sign in or create an account. And once you sign in,
it's on the city website.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate your time, man. And by the way, I appreciate all the personal money you put into this community through your businesses. And that's really where all this has to start. But it also has to start with people raising their voice up and saying, hey, there's trash, there's crime, and making the city aware of what's going on. I mean, it's just that little bit of effort that can make your city look good. And right now, it ebbs and flows. That stuff that was going on underneath the overpass of Eastern Boulevard, that shouldn't be happening anywhere, and it doesn't. And for some reason, we're allowing it to happen. So hopefully it won't happen again.
Well, I appreciate the call, Chris.
Thank you for the call.
Thanks.
And I'm pretty much out of time here, so always great seeing you. Anything else you want?
Yeah, well, any District 7 residents that are out there next Wednesday, I think that's the 20th, I will be at Bryant Missionary Baptist Church. We're having a little bit of a community meeting there. We'll have some folks from the city and police department out, just kind of going over some things that are happening in the district. So we will be at Bryant Missionary Baptist Church at 5:30 p.m. There's a flyer on my socials, so you can kind of see any of that. We have council coming up, and just keep an eye out. We've got Christmas parades coming up, Christmas tree lightings, and part of what Chris was just talking about is taking pride in where you live, and whether that's picking up trash in front of your businesses, whether it's cleaning out your storm drains just to help the water when it comes down, helping a neighbor out. It's the holiday season coming up, and despite some of the concerns and frustrations people have, I think we have a lot to give thanks for in the city.
Yeah, and if we do this again next month, we can talk Christmas stuff. Just like I'm sure there'll be so much we can talk about all the events.
I tell you,
I
know my business is about to launch. We do a 7-week. It's called the Miracle Christmas Pop-Up. It's a complete takeover and explosion of Christmas inside Hilltop Public House. So as a shameless plug, if you want to see Christmas to the extreme, come by our shop.
I might try to get out of my board pod.
What do you think? For anybody that's listening out there, he said might. So I'm going to put that about 35%. And so between now and the next 7 weeks, 35% chance that Joey gets into Hilltop Public House. And the question is it going to be during the daytime for a coffee beverage or in the evening time for a different type of beverage? We'll see. I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see, folks. I appreciate your time as always, Andrew.
Thank you so much.
This part of the program, in fact, the entire hour, or excuse me, not the entire hour that's coming up, but this part of the program brought to you by Dillon Rings. And there at Dillon Rings, Josh and Leslie Ryder are ready to help you out with any and all of your jewelry needs. They are a full-service jewelry shop. That means not only an amazing selection, which you could have seen on that very successful, that wonderful ladies' night they just had, but it could be custom design work. It could be spa treatments to make sure that jewelry shines and shimmers like it did when it was brand new. So here's the deal. With Ladies Night being so crowded, that's how successful it was. They couldn't help everybody out, so they decided to extend some of the discounts on the items still in stock until Christmas. It's a great way to shop and stuff those stockings. 30% off a large portion of inventory. If you go to their Facebook page, you can see these beautiful necklaces that they have for 30% off. It's a great gift for yourself or for someone special this Christmas. Christmas is only something like 41 days out. So y'all get by Dillon Rings today, 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The U.S. Senate election in Pennsylvania between Democratic incumbent Senator Bob Casey and Republican David McCormick. That's headed for a statewide recount. The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits fell to their lowest level in 6 months last week as layoffs remain at relatively healthy levels. The Labor Department reports jobless claim applications fell by 4,000 to 217,000 for the week of November 9th. The average rate on a 30-year mortgage in the U.S. edged lower this week. Ending a 6-week climb, the rate slipped to 6.78 from 6.79% last week, according to mortgage buyer Freddie Mac. That's down from a year ago when the rate averaged 7.4%. The Dow dropping 130 points, the NASDAQ down 35. This is SRN News.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
From Angel Studios comes Bonhoeffer, based on the powerful true story of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. As the Nazis tightened their grip on Germany, Bonhoeffer joined the deadly plot to assassinate Hitler, risking his faith and fate to save millions of Jews from genocide.
You will go to England as a spy. I'm ready to meet my destiny.
Bonhoeffer, rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13. Exclusively in theaters November 22nd. Go to angel.com/Bonhoeffer.
I don't really like working. I'm gonna need a priority parking space. I only work remotely. How are your safe spaces? Can I bring my dog to work? Will your company protect me against microaggressions? You're triggering me. Is this interview almost over?
You don't run a daycare. You run a business. That's why you need RedBalloon.work. Red Balloon has recruiters and hiring tools to help you hire adults. Call 833-880-0600 for a free consultation. That's 833-880-0600 for a free consultation.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Hi, everybody. That cold front that has been moving through the state will exit the state this afternoon. The risk of showers will fade away. Look for gradual improvement later with a high today up to about 74. Mostly clear, chilly tonight, overnight low 48. Tomorrow, Friday, we may not make it to 70 degrees. I've got us in the upper 60s, lots of sunshine. Chilly Friday night with clear skies, mid-40s by dawn Saturday morning. We'll be in the lower 70s for a high on Saturday, 74 Sunday, 40s at night, lots of sunshine, great tailgating weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Get 0% financing up to 48 months with approved credit. Now on select Kubota track loaders and excavators. Get a Kubota now through December 31st, 2024. See Capital Tractor Montgomery and Brundage or KubotaUSA.com for details.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. A new member of the Montgomery County Commission has been sworn into office. Justin Costanza will represent District 3, replacing Rhonda Walker, who chose not to run for re-election. The swearing-in ceremony for all members of the County Commission was held Wednesday morning, along with an organizational meeting. Alabama's new state mega prison, currently under construction in Elmore County, now has a name. The new prison will be known as the Governor K. Ivey Correctional Complex. You heard me. The super prison will house more than 4,000 inmates and is expected to be completed in May 2026 at a cost of well over $1 billion. According to multiple Alabama congressmen, President-elect Donald Trump plans to move Space Command headquarters to Huntsville once he is back in office this January. Alabama Representative Mike Rogers stated Trump will sign an executive order to move Space Command to Redstone Arsenal his first week back in the White House. We want it fair and square, Rogers remarked. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your updated market report. So far this year through MLS, there have been over 4,000 closings in the river region. Sellers have been getting on the average of over 97% of the listed price. In this ever-changing real estate market, I've seen more price reductions on listings over the last 3 months than I've seen in years. It's time to act for a buyer. So we have a greater supply of homes for people to see before they buy. We have an average price of $261,000 in our area. Local mortgage companies have come up with really attractive plans for first-home homebuyers, such as down payment assistance, lender credits to help on the closing costs, and buy-down plans to buy down the starting rate for borrowers. Investing in yourself and your community is life-changing for first-home homebuyers. You need a buyer agent to represent your interest and give you great advice. For all this information, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
Join us tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 at Riverside Chevrolet in Wetumpka for our annual holiday food drive. Drop off your non-perishable food donations to help feed families in need this holiday season.
Is your business feeling the heat of cyber attacks? Tired of worrying about ransomware, data breaches, downtime, and employee mistakes? GTI Managed IT Solutions has been your trusted partner since 1999, safeguarding and supporting businesses like yours from the ever-evolving threats in the digital world. GTI, your peace of mind is guaranteed. Call us today at 819-4650 or visit gtinow.com.
The holiday season is quickly approaching, and what better way to spread joy than by giving back to those in need? We're calling on all of you, our generous listeners, to make this holiday season extra special for those who might be struggling. Join us for our annual holiday food drive, benefiting the Heart of Alabama Food Bank It's simple. Just gather those non-perishable food items like canned goods, pasta, rice from your pantry, and drop them off at any of our convenient sponsor locations across the river region. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can feed families in need this holiday season. Bring your donations to Prattville Carpet on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville. Prattville Carpet. We're more than just carpet. Donate what you can. It's our annual food drive. From Blue Water Broadcasting and Prattville Carpet.
To find out how you can help, go to newstalk931.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. And joining us now for a quick business break, we have Joe Sloan in the studio with Sloan Properties. How you doing today, Joe?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm all right. As I was telling you off air, what a week or two it's been. So just tell folks about your business here, Sloan Property.
Oh, yeah. So actually, it's the company name is We Buy Montgomery. I'm one of the managing partners. My name is Joe Sloan. And what we do is offer a streamlined process to homeowners to sell their property, whether it's your primary personal home or an investment property, or that you have that's vacant, or you have some tenants that you just no longer want to deal with, or even if you've inherited a property, any situation, we have a solution that we can help. One of the biggest caveats is that we have a hassle-free, streamlined process. We can close on your timeline. And also, too, we save you, put more money in your pocket by affording you not to have to incur any closing costs, repairs, or pay any additional commissions as well. So those are a lot of key points. So we're all about, getting things done on your timeline and putting more money back in your pocket.
So the website I'm looking at it right now, webuymontgomery.com. It's pretty straight up. And so, who is the type of person who you think is most ready for your services? Who's we probably need to work with him?
I think quite a few ideal candidates would be someone, maybe if that was contemplating, have a property that they want to sell, but probably in order to get it in tip-top condition, they probably need to do some repairs, and so they don't want to be bothered with that. They just want to get a fair offer for it, straight cash in a timely manner. That would be an ideal candidate, or someone that's just looking to maybe upgrade or downsize, and don't want to deal with all the hassle of having multiple showings and connecting with a real estate agent and things of that nature, or maybe some property that you have in your family that wasn't been sure what you want to do with it, or it's something that's just been sitting vacant. Hey, give us a call and we'll be that one-stop shop for you.
So cash offer, all cash.
Yeah, all cash. Yeah, so no financing. We don't need to do an appraisal. Everything is done in-house. Inspection is done in-house. Whatever we say, whatever terms we agree upon, that's what you walk away with.
So how did you get into this line of work? How did this all come to be?
Well, it all came about because my background consists of, I'm actually a home builder for the state of Alabama. So my background consists of, purchasing and renovating properties, and also doing new construction projects as well. So it's just a part of my background, and this was just a vertical integration of the business to allow us to take on more projects. And so we offer, to market it to homeowners just looking to liquidate, and then in turns benefits us, as allow us to add, additional inventory to our pipeline.
Absolutely. So how many folks you have working at the company there?
Well, that's another thing too. We run a very lean operation. So currently right now we have about five people on staff, a couple of callers, field representatives, and then of course some oversight. So we run a very lean operation.
Very good. And how long y'all been in business?
We've been in business 6 years.
All right.
Yep. Serving the whole river region area.
So, folks, it's, again, webuymontgomery.com if you want to check it out, or folks can call you direct, right?
Right, yeah, 334-487-0000.
It's pretty self-explanatory. Once you give the whole spiel, it's okay. Is there anything I'm kind of leaving out here? Like,
no, the only thing, and also too, if we didn't cover, if we're not covering any of your questions, concerns, we also do field inquiry calls as well. So don't feel obligated just to call and be ready to sell. If you have additional questions that you need addressed, feel free to give us a call, 334-487-00. That's, Montgomery, Prattville, Millbrook, and all the surrounding areas.
Well, folks, we've been talking to Joe Sloan with We Buy Montgomery. And y'all check it out, WeBuyMontgomery.com, or as he just said, 487-0000. Appreciate the time, Joe.
All right, thanks for the time, guys.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, I'm Brian McMahon with Turf Stalkers. Within a few months of advertising with Blue Water, our customer base doubled. If you're looking for similar results, we highly recommend advertising with Blue Water.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The blowout at Marguerite's is on. Door busters. We got lab-grown 5-carat diamond bracelets, $16.50. Half-carat diamond stud earrings, lab-grown, $99. 1-carat diamonds, $4.99 in a 14-carat mounting. You got to be kidding me. Every single item in the store has a crazy whack-out price, and our inventory is better than ever. We're ready for Christmas, and you can lay away to Christmas Eve. Don't miss the blowout at Marguerite's. The early bird catches a diamond.
Hi, Rich Thomas here. I'm in Prattville at the Depot Furniture Gallery. The Depot is having an unbelievable sale. They are moving, and with a showroom and warehouse full of inventory, they want to get it sold so they don't have to move it to their new location. With the Depot buying directly from the factories by the truck and container loads, their prices are amazingly low. But now with this moving sale, everything is an additional 50% off the already low sale price. And that includes everything: bedroom, dining room furniture, kitchen islands, entertainment centers, pictures, lamps, and accessories. Also, the 50% sale includes rugs from their rug gallery. The Depot has a great selection of rugs for Oriental weavers and lowly rugs. Trust me, you don't want to miss this 50% off moving sale. The Depot is located at 616 Highway 82 West Prattville, inside Prattville Pickers, hours 10 to 6 Monday through Saturday, and Sunday 1 to 5. Call 334-380-3300 or find the Depot Furniture Gallery on Facebook.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome. Welcome back, that is. I'm here's Joey Clark. Eddie Bader here in the studio with me. Always great. Hey, and man, getting a little bit of the local stuff out.
Yeah. Well, we've taken a little bit of a break. We had all this national. So
of course. But the national is so fun.
It's still changing, Joey. It's ever changing.
Absolutely ever changing.
So I was surprised last night, and you might have hit on it. Matt Gaetz,
yeah.
They had such a good plan in place. As soon as he announced it, he stepped down.
Yeah.
I mean,
he resigned from Congress.
It is like hand in glove how this is going to go.
Right.
I listened to NPR yesterday afternoon and a little bit this morning.
Okay.
Boy, are they very upset.
Oh, yeah, there are a lot of people upset. A lot of people upset.
I thought the shaving heads was crazy. It's crazier.
Oh, no, the low T folks, especially at NPR, are very, very, very unhappy. But Washington, D.C., you think they're unhappy? The Beltway.
Oh, I bet.
But, of all people, who really nailed it on what's happening here, especially with the Matt Gaetz clip?
Who that?
I know it's somebody that you love, that maybe not as much as me, John Fetterman. Did you see what Fetterman had to say?
I did, and he really made me happy. I gotta be honest.
Let's just play this. It's a very quick clip, and Fetterman, I think, said it better than anybody else.
I mean, I would describe it as God tier level trolling to just trigger a full-on China syndrome to own the libs in perpetuity.
I'm telling you, I heard that statement probably 4 times last night in a row. I can't believe those words came out of his mouth. I can't believe he formed that sentence.
I mean, I would describe it as God tier level trolling to just trigger a full-on
China syndrome
to own the libs in perpetuity.
Maybe I got to watch that whole interview with Rogan. Maybe I've missed something.
Yeah, no, Fetterman's got this weird, very honest streak to him. I like the guy. I think he's wrong on so much policy, but I actually genuinely kind of like the guy.
I'm telling you, that I kept rewinding that last night because like, that's got to be somebody put that on there.
Well, no, and this is what I was saying, last week, is there are going to be people that are Democrats that pop up and realize, oh, the world of media, the world has changed.
Yeah.
And they're going to be people who are like how Bill Clinton was. You're like, he sucks, but that SOB,
such a charmer.
He's so charming.
But Fetterman, honestly, I didn't see that at all coming at all, and I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to see it.
So, I mean, there's a bunch of people reacting to this Matt Gaetz pick in particular. By the way, I love, I was just telling the guest we just had off air, I love Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence.
You like that, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me why. Tell me why that makes Joey so happy.
She was called a Russian stooge forever.
Yep.
She was put on a no-fly list by accident.
Does she get off?
By the intelligence community.
No-fly list now?
Well, I don't know, but she was just named the Director of National Intelligence that oversees all that.
I hope she's smart enough to pull her own name off.
Right. And just for that, I love the, wait, you're going to do what to somebody? Okay, I'm going to make them your boss.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the fact that she's beautiful. There are all these photos making the rounds, and they're not
tasteless.
She's not scantily clad. She's she's just in tactical gear, and she's running a course and got firearms in her hand.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is great.
There's one on the range when she's got a rucksack in one hand, gun in the other, and it is a very
I shared it. It's an epic photo.
Pose.
Yeah.
It's
it's not just, oh, she's beautiful, she's hot, man. It's like, no, she's striking is the word.
That's a good one. Yes.
Right, and I love how young all these folks are. She's young.
Yeah.
J.D. Vance is young. Vivek Ramaswamy's young.
Yep.
Elon, not as much.
How old is Elon?
50-something.
I'm going to say
57.
I thought he was 55, so 57. Yeah, not so young.
So you're getting Pete Hegseth very young. You're talking about millennials, essentially. Yeah.
Love this guy. He's got We the People tattooed on his forearm.
Oh, yeah. And Knights Templar stuff.
Yes.
And it's nuts.
I'm falling in love with this guy.
So, but in particular, that shiny bastard, but he's our shiny bastard, Matt Gaetz, has that pick of all the picks, has gotten under people's skin. Here's John Cornyn, who just lost out being leader of the majority. Let's listen in.
We talked about recess.
On the issue of vetting, though, how critical is it then to have access to what the House Ethics Committee
has found in their investigation.
I think there should not be any limitation on the Senate Judiciary Committee's investigation, including whatever the House Ethics Committee has generated.
So you want to see it?
Absolutely.
Because there was a House Ethics Committee investigation into Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
And I think I termed this as like House Ethics Committee's kind of like saying like whorehouse for chastity. Yeah. Give me a break.
Exactly.
And if he had done something wrong, why didn't you charge him?
Because he did nothing wrong.
Come on.
Except he went after somebody's friends, that's all.
But this is Washington, but you're like, why would these folks be so upset? Why would they, like this guy in particular, like, well, we know why, but here's like this guy, Kevin McCarthy. Let's listen in.
Good except one. Look.
He's asked, like, Trump's picks. What do you think?
Choices are very good except one. Look, Gaetz won't get confirmed. Everybody knows that. But when you look at a Rubio, just the knowledge that...
Rubio!
It is, Joey.
But Gaetz won't get confirmed.
Okay, so can we keep this clip and play it back in a couple weeks?
I'll make sure to save it. Yes.
Because
I'll make sure to save it.
I've got a feeling, and I could be way wrong, but I got a feeling it's pretty confident he's going to get confirmed just by the way those dominoes have fell.
Yes. They're going to try all sorts of stuff. Trump and him know it's going to be a huge fight.
Of course. But they've known that for how long?
Do you remember when, especially Kevin McCarthy, like, why would Kevin say that? Well, there was, of course, where Gaetz was calling him out on the floor of the Republican National Convention.
During the convention.
But do you remember some of the stuff Gaetz said in all those rounds as he's the ringleader of making sure Kevin McCarthy isn't speaker? Remember that first round where they went into the wee hours of the night, Barry Moore sitting next to George Santos, all this stuff?
I remember all that.
A lot of words were said.
Yeah.
And here's some of Matt Gaetz that day. You got to wonder, why does TC, like the uniparty, like the corrupt system, why does it not like this guy so much?
My colleague says we've passed the strongest border bills in history. Well, guess what? Look at the border right now. We didn't use sufficient leverage in the debt limit or in any other thing to actually get results on the border. The border is a disaster, really something I don't think you're going to be campaigning on, that you fix the border. Second, you said you streamlined regulations. What the gentleman from Louisiana doesn't tell you is that all of the regulatory reform he was just bragging about is waivable by the stroke of a pen of someone in the Biden White House.
By the way, if you still are stuck in 2004 or even 2012, Matt Gaetz is damning Republicans here in this speech.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just, Republicans. No, it is the Trump populist against the uniparty. And this is what he's been railing about. I think it's why he's going to get that AG spot. But let's keep listening.
Do you really think you've got anything for that? It's a total joke. And then finally, the welfare to work that the gentleman from Louisiana said we got. The welfare programs that they said that they streamlined with their welfare to work stuff, they're actually going to grow. Because while they did work requirements, they blew out those programs with expanded eligibility. I'm real glad you guys didn't put work requirements on Medicaid. It probably would have resulted in Medicaid expansion. And when it comes to how those raise money, I take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight.
Because remember at the time, I hope you recall, he was being criticized for raising money off of what people, this publicity stunt. He's raising money off of, like all of you jackasses do?
Yes, thank you.
He's doing the things that we do. Well, his point actually is like, no, I'm not doing it exactly how you do. Here, I'll let Matt Gaetz finish.
No lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have, boo all you want, who have hollowed out this town and have borrowed against the future of our future generations. I'll be happy to fund my political operation through the work of hardworking Americans, $10 and $20 and $30 at a time, and you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you. I reserve.
Damn. That's who Trump has nominated.
Why would he pick such a guy? What's he see in him?
Oh, it's so glorious, Eddie. It really is
it's
a wonderful
hysterical.
day in the neighborhood. Let me see. I didn't have it queued up, but I think I could find here one of the Matt Gaetz clips that's making the rounds. that people are upset with what Gaetz said. Actually, I mean, I don't know what this clip is. Let's listen in right here.
Seems like every time I turn around, they're engaged in surveillance or list building or monitoring, and I don't care if it takes every second of our time and every ounce of our energy. We either get this government back on our side or we defund and get rid of, abolish the FBI, CDC, ATF, DOJ, every last one of them if they do not come to heel.
Why don't they like it? Like,
I don't get it.
That's awesome. What, they don't like that idea?
That's a great idea.
And then they really hate something like this. I got to full screen this one.
Okay.
This was after Matt Gaetz said something at a speech about why is it that the women who scream for abortion the most are the ones that will never need that service. Yeah. And so he was confronted after that speech by a reporter, and this went down.
Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended.
All right. I got to see it again. Play it again for me, Sam.
Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
Be offended.
Beautiful. Why don't they like this guy?
That I don't understand. Why are they not more like this guy?
Yeah. Why don't they like this guy? It's just...
Yeah.
I mean, it seems pretty great to me.
I got to be honest, Joey. I don't see the issue. Clean cut, well spoken.
Yeah. Like, I mean, he seems like he's throwing down pretty well.
Waffling on nothing?
I mean, why don't they like this guy?
And when it comes to how those raise money, I take no lecture on asking patriotic Americans to weigh in and contribute to this fight from those who would grovel and bend knee for the lobbyists and special interests who own our leadership, who have, boo all you want,
I love
who
that.
have hollowed out this town and have borrowed against the future of our future generations. I'll be happy to fund my political operation through the work of hardworking Americans, $10 and $20 and $30 at a time, and you all keep showing up at the lobbyist fundraisers and see how that goes for you.
I love that.
Man, he's got a spine of steel, or he's got a brass pair hanging there.
Well, it reminds me kind of, and I hope this is the Republican Party that I see. Just like when they offered Trump, hey, you need this $10 million to do this thing our way, the administrative way. And he said, nah, we'll do it our way. I don't need that $10 million.
He also says stuff like this.
I think our voters expect us to have a fighting spirit. If we win this majority back in the House and we don't do what Senator Kennedy demanded, and that is to, get to the bottom of these investigations and deliver wins for our people, then shame on us. And I have a message for anybody that's looking to hire Tony Fauci to be the CEO of their pharmaceutical company or their university president. Don't plan on him being available for work too often, because Jim Jordan and I are going to have him before the House of Representatives answering questions. And I sure hope he doesn't plan to retire in my beautiful Florida like so many people do. I think he ought to retire where he can be closer to his work in Wuhan, China.
Why don't they like this guy?
I don't understand.
I don't get it. I just typed in Matt Gaetz to X, and we're just watching clip after clip, and every clip is a frickin' home run.
I'm liking him more and more.
And now we've got, how about let's get an Alabama senator to weigh in.
Okay.
You see how deep
I got
in
a
my
feeling
voice
I
a
know
little
where
bit.
you're going with this.
I'm not talking about Katie.
I didn't think so.
I'm talking about Coach. The Coach. See what Coach has to say about Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz get the votes in the Senate.
I don't know. You're finding all the swamp creatures coming out right now. Everybody's got an opinion up here, but at the end of the day, President Trump was elected by an enormous vote, and he deserves a team around him that he wants. It's not us to determine that. We've got 53 votes in the Senate. We can confirm with 51. I've already seen where a couple of them says, I'm not voting for him. Wait a minute. You are not the United States of America. You have one vote in the U.S. Senate. You did not get elected president. Vote with President Trump. This is the last chance we're going to have of saving this country. And if you want to get in the way, fine. But we're going to try to get you out of the Senate, too, if you try to do that.
What parts?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I love it when Coach steps out there, buddy.
Now, we were celebrating yesterday Bitcoin being up.
Yes.
These appointments, Tulsi, Matt Gaetz, Rubio. We don't really celebrate it. At least I wasn't. I think some of y'all are celebrating watching me get frustrated by it.
Oh, I just accept another fellow person of certain size. Fun size.
But then we started celebrating that United States Senator Katie Britt voted for Rick Scott.
I thought about that a lot last night.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're the political guy. You
Yeah.
tell me. We elected her, and I'm glad she addressed this. But I didn't elect her to micromanage her.
Oh, you're getting into an old question. Do you elect a delegate or a trustee?
Well, that's just it. I want her, and I'm glad she did. She obviously listened to Alabamians. But at the same time, if I put myself in her shoes, whoofka.
Yeah.
So I can see the tightrope she's got to walk. And I'm not trying to make excuses for her. I'm just humanizing the whole thing. I'm glad she did that. But at the same time, did we hire or put somebody in that place to constantly micromanage? And if that's the case, I think we need to be more clear about that.
Also, I think a little bit of what's going on is everybody is high. Oh, not on like marijuana. It's not a fentanyl thing. It's everybody's high on the election victory.
Yeah, agreed.
Like anything can be done if we put enough pressure. Because the Trump train is going strong. Look at we got Matt Gaetz. We got this. Yeah, Rick Scott all the way to the moon, along with Bitcoin and Doge.
The Trump bump, baby. It's a real thing.
But then again, the system is still the system. It looks like at the end of the day, there was no chance for Rick Scott to win.
No.
But here's what's amazing. The response to this has been, well, Twitter people say she didn't vote. She's lying.
I was waiting for that.
If United States Senator Katie Britt, if Katie is lying, why did Rick Scott thank her for the vote publicly?
Ooh.
Why did Mike Lee thank her? Are those two all of a sudden rhinos? And while we're taking some medicine here, I hate the term rhino.
Do you?
Yes.
Why, Joey?
For instance, Richard Shelby.
Okay.
That would be like if somebody says rhino, that'd be kind of a classic pick, like Republican in name only.
I guess so.
Or Mitch McConnell.
There you go.
Rhino. And so the name rhino denotes Republican in name only.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me that the senator that has been here, rather from Alabama, or was here from Alabama, or is from Kentucky, was the majority leader for the Republican Party for ages, I think since 2007. That these guys that have been elected Republican senators for decades, longer than I've been alive, they're not the true Republicans. It's us out here. Have you considered, folks, that maybe you're not a Republican? Maybe you're something different.
Ooh.
That the Republicans are the rhinos. Often that's what they've been traditionally. And that what you've been looking for is a populist like Trump, not another Republican. So the term bugs me. It's like Republican name only. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. The guy who's the chairman of appropriations and has his name on buildings all over the place. He's more of a Republican than anybody else. He's been elected as a freaking Republican.
So just a way for
what you might be as a true principled conservative.
Oh.
What you might be as a malcontented libertarian. You might be somebody who just never wanted to vote ever until Donnie from Queens came down the golden escalator. And all that's great. But we got to get wise to what the Republican Party has been. They were lying to you for a long time. Mitt Romney was a Republican. John McCain was a Republican. They're not fake Republicans. They are Republicans. And so, if you want the Republican Party to be better, then show up in the Republican primary and redefine what it means to be a Republican. I double-checked. The 2022 election cycle, that's when Senator Britt was elected, right? The 2022 primaries in the spring of 2022, 23% voter turnout.
It's pathetic, man. It's just pathetic.
But again, I come back to the question, well, Amy Kramer here, and we saw on Twitter, like this list, it's like, then why did Rick Scott thank her for her vote publicly? Just had to get that out there.
Good question.
Good what?
Question.
This is part of the program, in fact, the entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim and Madeline are ready to help you with buying a home.
Mm-hmm.
Could be your first-time home buyer, and they can walk you through that process. Or maybe it's not your first time, but you're looking for somebody that you can trust.
Yeah.
Where there'll be no surprises on closing day. Have some of the lowest closing costs.
That's right.
Because they don't have all the overhead that like the big banks do. They have an amazing, like, just standard that they live by. That's Alabama Home Mortgage. And again, they're local people. You actually get to know them. It's pretty fantastic. Or it could be you're looking to refinance that home. A lot of folks have been sitting on the fence.
Yep.
And I get it. It's a big decision. So if you're still sitting there waiting, wondering, when do I pull the trigger on this? Well, at least have a conversation with Kim and Madeline there at 567-4223. You don't have to go ahead and refi that day when you call them.
Just start the conversation.
Let them get to know you, your goals in refinancing that home, and especially if you're a veteran. They have special deals for you through the VA home loan programs, and the turnaround time is second to none. It's something like a little over 2 weeks is the average. It's pretty amazing turnaround time. So get prepared for the new year. That's how you should think of this. You got Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up. Get prepared to put yourself on a new financial footing or get yourself in a home through Alabama Home Mortgage. That number, 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Ah, Igor, don't you just love the sound of thunder? No, Dr. Frankenstein. It's scary. But I need a lightning bolt to bring the monster to life.
Actually, lightning is scary. A single strike within a mile of your home can send a tidal wave of voltage through the wires, burning out your computers, TVs, and GFCI plugs, even refrigerators and ovens.
Oh, drat. Missed us again.
But here's the good news. The trained technicians at Crosby Electric can install an economical whole house system to protect you from electrical surges caused by lightning, downed power lines, nearby factories, or just the recycling of your own appliances.
Igor, why am I not getting a surge? Well, I have a pretty good hunch. Why, yes, Igor. And a fine hunch it is.
Igor ordered whole house surge protection from Crosby Electric. So should you. Visit crosbyelectric.com or call 272-2085.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the River region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
For more information, send an email to digital@BlueWaterBroadcasting.com.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Hi, everybody. That cold front that has been moving through the state will exit the state this afternoon. The risk of showers will fade away. Look for gradual improvement later with a high today up to about 74. Mostly clear, chilly tonight, overnight low 48. Tomorrow, Friday, we may not make it to 70 degrees. I've got us in the upper 60s, lots of sunshine. Chilly Friday night with clear skies, mid-40s by dawn Saturday morning. We'll be in the lower 70s for a high on Saturday, 74 Sunday, 40s at night, lots of sunshine, great tailgating weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. And now a familiar face, maybe voice for some of y'all. I hadn't seen him in a while, though. We have Andrew Rao from Christ Church here in Montgomery. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing real well. Thank you, Joey. I appreciate it. It has been a long time, far
Yes,
too
sir.
long. Many an afternoon spent talking about Holy Week and Ash Wednesday with Dan. There's some good times in that studio, but it's good to be with you. Be good to be on your show.
Yeah, good to have you here. So be back together again. So y'all have coming up at Christ Church the Christmas market y'all do every year.
Well, it's the first time we've ever done it. So the plan is to let it be an annual, but everything has to be a first annual.
What am I thinking of before?
Well, we do a bazaar. So you're thinking about the bazaar.
Okay.
So every year, the people of our parish donate things to trade and sell to one another, and we take all those proceeds and give them to missions in the area. But this is the first time we've ever done a Christmas market. And so I'll tell you a little bit of the genesis of this. I was in Uganda a couple of years ago. You know, our church, when we started 19 years ago, we were a church out of the diocese of Sebe in western Uganda. And I found myself in Cologne on my way back home. And I just happened to be on top of Cologne Cathedral, looking down on that beautiful city. And it was the first night of their Christmas market. It was like late November. So I came down from the cathedral and I started walking along through the market. I bought things for my wife, for my boys, and I thought, you know, we could do something like this at Christ Church back in Montgomery. And then out of nowhere, through the Lord's good grace to us, we had a 15 acre campus, and then suddenly we acquired the old Southern Homes and Gardens.
Okay,
and
yeah.
so it all came together. I'm thinking, in this building, which used to be that beautiful retail space, we can now do the Christmas market that we had imagined. Wow. And so Lucille Waller and a group of folks from our church have run with the idea, and we're really excited to do this for the community.
So, like, when is it all happening? What are the dates?
Okay, so we start on Thursday, the 21st. So it's coming up just next week. On the 21st, there's a special early glimpse of Christmas preview party. And so it'll be a night of food, and we'll have some drink, we'll have some time just to rejoice and be together. And their tickets are on sale for $10 for that, but it'll be a first crack at all of those vendors. And then we'll go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday during the rest of that weekend. On the 22nd and 23rd, it's from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and tickets are available at the door. And then we have vendors from all over the Southeast coming in to show us their wares throughout that beautiful greenhouse space and that old retail space in Southern Homes and Gardens.
And I think I've got a list here of some of the vendors, like Michael Weaver, Sterling Silver.
Yeah, and antique dealers from all over the Southeast. We're having Four Oaks outdoor porch swings. We'll be building their swings out at one of the greenhouses for you to look at. We'll have honey and jellies. And so one of the cool things they do in all of those European markets is you buy a little mug full of wassail or full of Gulwein, and you walk around sipping it while you shop in the snow. Well, we can't generate snow in Alabama next weekend, but we had an artist in our church, Ruth Brubaker, paint a painting of our annual Christmas pageant, and we've had to put on some mugs. And so you'll be able to take home a souvenir mug from your time of experience. So yeah, we've had some really great vendors coming in. We've got bakeries coming in and jewelry makers. It'll really be a phenomenal array of things that you can look through and buy for your family for Christmas.
It sounds like people are going to, and I mean this in a good way, walk into a Hallmark movie. Like,
well,
it sounds awesome.
That's our hope. You know, in our mind's eye, it really is going to be something really unique out on that east side of Montgomery.
Because I think I've only experienced a big Christmas market. It was of all years. I don't even know why I was there in Atlanta, in kind of one of that underground area, and one area had been completely transformed into like a German Christmas market.
Yeah.
And so the fact that y'all are doing this is, I think, incredible. I know, a beautiful property. Adding that extra space, I think this is something people got to get by.
That's really fun.
So how can folks get tickets?
So you can go on our website, so christchurchanglican.net, and you go to our bookstore link, you can get tickets for that preview. But then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the tickets are available at the door. Now, Sunday, we want you all to go to church, and then we'll be open from noon to 4. That'll be the last day of the market. But all the tickets are available right there at the door. They're just $5, and it just helps defray the cost of all those vendors coming in from all over the Southeast to set up their shops, and all the proceeds are going to go to missions in our area and the ministries of Christ Church. And we'll have a table there, probably along with the mugs and the cider and all that stuff, with some information about all that we're going to be doing during Advent and Christmas season. So if people are looking for a place to come worship over the course of that season, we'll be open for business for that too.
Because I'm thinking, like, do y'all do the living nativity or something along those?
No, you probably think it's First Baptist does the big singing Christmas tree. We have a big pageant on Christmas Eve, which is all the children of our parish telling us the gospel story. We start with Adam and Eve, and we get all the way to the coming of Christ Jesus. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, as I walked around that Christmas market, I was surrounded by people that had just gotten off a Viking river cruise, because apparently there's some river cruise that hits all of those Christmas markets while it happens. And I thought maybe we could get tourists from all over the South to come visit our market at some point. But we're excited to be starting it, and we hope it's a real blessing to the community.
Well, folks, y'all get by there. And again, I'm looking at the website, christchurchanglican.net, and then just click on bookstore, and you see a button to purchase tickets, see all the different vendors if you want to check out beforehand, and stop by. If y'all haven't been by there, it really is a beautiful church, a beautiful property in general. And
appreciate that, Joey.
You have a lot of great things going on.
Yeah, one of the things that we're excited about too is that Bates House of Turkey will be there. So if you're lazy and you don't want to cook for Thanksgiving, they'll have all the fixins, including turkeys, available to you. So that'll be the first time we've ever done anything like that as well.
Well, it's good seeing you, Andrew. Which I'm repeating. I had Andrew Sorrell yesterday. We just had Andrew Szymanski. So Andrew Rowell, always great seeing you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
More news and views after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is Jacob with Pest Pro Services. We are locally owned and operated, and we are proud to be a top 15 small business in the state of Alabama. We specialize in pest, mosquito, and termite control, and we would love to earn your business. Give us a call for a free inspection and estimate. 265-9990, 265-9990. Or you can visit us on the web at ppsriverregion.com or find us on Facebook at Pest Pro Services. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And there at Cole Plumbing, James and the team are ready to help you out with any and all of your plumbing needs. Could be you want to upgrade. Say a tankless water heater system.
Very efficient, Joey. You will save money on the long term for sure. Why do you want to heat up water all day long when no one's showering?
Right.
You just heat it up, let it cool down. Heat it up. You know who loves that? Power company.
Mm-hmm. So why not get that tankless water heater installed?
Yeah.
Or maybe you had a water heater like blow up on you.
Ooh.
Or
make a
like,
big mess.
I mean, you're at a point where you need something.
Yeah.
Why not go ahead with this new technology?
I would.
And then, of course, they can help you upgrade to, say, a taller toilet if your hips are giving out. You don't be a chore to sit on the toilet. Or new accessories in the bathroom, in the shower, could be even in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And, of course, they can also help you with everyday plumbing issues like clogged drains, low water pressure. Maybe you're worried about a tree root invasion, gas line leak. And if you do have a massive leak, they understand time is of the essence. They can get out there and solve it with that proprietary pipelining technology unique to Cole Plumbing. And without making a big mess, tearing out a bunch of drywall, digging up a huge hole in your yard. So check them out today. That number, 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
So, why don't they like Matt Gaetz? Like, DC, like, he seems like a really fun guy.
Could he be more likable? Well,
I think he's like, I mean, he's got a little bit of a crap-eating grin, kind of like I do. But
because I think he's got some inside jokes going on, and he sees some people falling into his traps, I guess you'd say. But does he not look like a warlock? Can we talk about that?
yeah, he does.
Does he sleep upside down? I mean,
No, somebody posted a photo of him. See, and I won't even play like the audio of this. But if you just look, let me see if I can like freeze it on Gaetz' face here. Hold on, let me.
I have other questions.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here with my father.
It's just so dark around his eyes. It just.
Yeah, let me see here. Let me back up. Yeah, right there. And people are captioning that with like, "I'm coming for the Batman." Oh wow. Yeah, but I mean, what's not to like about the guy though? Oh wait, this just makes me like him even more.
What's that?
The mustache. John Bolton is asked about Matt Gaetz being tapped by Trump to be the next Attorney General of these here United States. And here's what John Bolton had to say. Go ahead, take it away, mustache.
President-elect Trump intends to nominate Matt Gaetz to run the Department of Justice. What was your immediate reaction when you heard that?
Well, it must be the worst nomination for a cabinet position in American history. I think this is something that falls well outside the scope of deference that should be given to a president in nominating members of his senior team. Yeah. Gaetz is not only totally incompetent for this job, he doesn't have the character. He is a person of moral turpitude. And notwithstanding how difficult it may be politically, this is a nomination the Republican Party should oppose.
I love these miserable creatures of the swamp talking about moral turpitude.
So
Give me a break.
Just look at this whole thing. All right, who is this? Is NBC?
Yeah, Meet the Press.
All right, who's that lady on there?
Kristen Welker.
Yes, she's had a few run-ins with the Republican Party.
Oh yeah, just a few.
So the only persons that she would bring on that show would be someone that's going to bash the Republican Party. If that's not one big old setup, then you tell me what it is.
Of course. Well, it's John Bolton not liking anything.
Right. Otherwise, she would never talk to John Bolton. She would never give that man time of day. And nor would he.
And of course, Bolton's going nuts over Tulsi Gabbard, too.
Well, of course.
Like, he can't stand it. Like, oh, no. This is amazing. Let's go to the Fox News alert.
Okay.
This is the moment that it was brought to everybody's attention.
Another Trump appointment, and this is one that is probably going to surprise a lot of people because he was not on any of the lists that were floating around out there. And there had been some discussion that President-elect Trump was having a little trouble making this final decision, or maybe this is the person he had in mind all along. But he has now nominated Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz as Attorney General.
Wow. It is amazing.
I can't help but think he had these selections pretty much picked out all along and was just waiting to get the go-ahead.
Yeah, I think there's something to that.
Yeah. Too smooth, man.
So now here is Gaetz in a little more lengthy exchange, him talking to the current Attorney General of the United States, Merrick Garland. Let's listen in.
You can clear it all up for us right now. Will the Department of Justice provide to the committee all documents, all between the department and Alvin Bragg's office and Fonnie Willis's office and Letitia James's office?
The offices you're referring to are independent offices of state.
I get that. I get that. The question is whether or not you will provide all of your documents and correspondence. That's the question. I don't need a history lesson.
Well, I'm going to say again, we do not control those offices. They make their own decisions.
The question is whether you communicate with them, not whether you control them. Do you communicate with them, and will you provide those communications?
You make a request, we'll refer it to our Office of Legislative Affairs.
But see, here's the thing. You come in here and you lodge this attack that it's a conspiracy theory, that there is coordinated lawfare against Trump. And then when we say, fine, just give us the documents, give us the correspondence, and then if it's a conspiracy theory, that will be evident. But when you say, well, we'll take your request and then we'll sort of work it through the DOJ's accommodation process, then you're actually advancing the very dangerous conspiracy theory that you're concerned about. Now, you were a judge, once nominated to the highest court in our country. When you were a judge, I'm just curious, did you ever make political donations to partisan candidates?
No.
No, and you didn't because that would create the potential appearance of impropriety.
I didn't, because there's a federal rule barring federal judges from making contributions.
Right, but under that same theory of attacks on the judicial process, shouldn't someone give the
I'm not asking a hypothetical. You're asking me to comment on a jury verdict in a other jurisdiction, which jurisdiction.
Attorney General, I hadn't asked you about the verdict yet. We were getting there. I was talking about the judge. And so let me ask you this question about your time as a judge. Was there ever a time when you were a judge when you had a family member who was personally profiting off of the notoriety of a case that was before your court?
I'm going to say again, it's very clear you're asking me to comment on a case in another jurisdiction.
No, wait, hold on, Mr. Attorney General. Did you ever have a family member profit off of the notoriety of any case that you sat over?
Say again, you're asking
yes or no?
You're asking me to comment on a case currently.
Well, it seems you're connecting the dots, Mr. Attorney General. I'm just asking you as a general principle, but you are aware that Judge Merchan's daughter was profiting off of this prosecution. You are aware that that creates the appearance of impropriety. You know the very reason there's a federal rule against judges giving donations is because it is the very attack on the judicial process that we're concerned about.
I'm sorry, I don't agree with anything you just said, but I'm not going to comment on it.
Okay, so you won't comment on it, Mr. Attorney General, but you had no problem dispatching Matthew Colangelo. Who's Matthew Colangelo?
That is false. I did not dispatch Matthew Colangelo.
Matthew Colangelo became the Assistant Attorney General at the very beginning of the Biden administration. Without having been Senate confirmed, goes and gets the senior role at the DOJ, and then after, I believe it's Gupta replaces Colangelo, Colangelo makes this remarkable downstream career journey from the U.S. Department of Justice in Washington, D.C., and then pops up in Alvin Bragg's office to go get Trump. And you're saying that's just a career choice that was made that has nothing to do with the lawfare coordinated by the DOJ.
I'm saying it's false. I did not dispatch Mr. Colangelo anywhere.
I mean, why don't they like this guy?
I like the guy.
I like it a
I like him a lot.
Oh, wow. What a time. What a time to be covering American politics. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, they're ready to help you fellas out. Say you're feeling a little run down, tired all the live long day. And it's not just like you're physically tired and also seeing weight gain, loss of muscle mass.
Right.
But you're also like mentally not there. You've lost your edge.
Brain fog.
Also no sex drive to speak of. All these issues together could signal that you have low testosterone. So if that's the underlying issue, you can get it solved there at Montgomery Men's Health. And the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health can conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup, plus a consultation for only $99. And they have low-T treatments at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change men's lives. Men can experience, higher energy.
That's right.
Better gains in the gym.
That's right, brother.
That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, and usually even notice an increased sex drive.
Well, that's all right, Joey.
You can actually book the same day that you call, gentlemen. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. NATO and the European Union ramping up pressure on China. They want Beijing to persuade North Korea to stop sending troops to Russia in support of its war on Ukraine. Up to 12,000 North Korean troops have been sent to Russia's Kursk border region to help beat back Ukrainian forces there. NATO says Russia is sending missile technology to North Korea in return. The head of the International Atomic Energy Agency is warning that the space for negotiation and diplomacy is getting smaller over Iran's advancing nuclear program as wars in the Mideast rage. There will be heavy police presence but few visiting fans at a soccer match between France and Israel. Authorities in Paris are on high alert amid increasingly tense political climate. The Dow dropping 132 points, the Nasdaq 80 points in the red. This is SRN News.
Our nation's problems have been building for the past 50 years, and they're not going away overnight. which is why we must prepare now for a financial collapse that will affect the entire economy. The good news is there's an easy way to do that. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul, and I believe everyone should consider a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group to diversify their IRA or 401k. Gold is a proven bedrock in almost every kind of economy. To learn more, get a free info kit from my trusted friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Don't wait until decades of government irresponsibility comes crashing down on your retirement. Get your free info kit on gold IRAs from the Birch Gold Group now. Text PREPARE to the number 989898. That's PREPARE to 989898.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Hi, everybody. That cold front that has been moving through the state will exit the state this afternoon. The risk of showers will fade away. Look for gradual improvement later with a high today up to about 74. Mostly clear, chilly tonight, overnight low 48. Tomorrow, Friday, we may not make it to 70 degrees. I've got us in the upper 60s, lots of sunshine. Chilly Friday night with clear skies, mid-40s by dawn Saturday morning. We'll be in the lower 70s for a high on Saturday, 74 Sunday, 40s at night, lots of sunshine, great tailgating weather. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Get a Kubota RTV with a $2,000 instant rebate or 0% APR, up to 48 months with approved credit. Get a Kubota now through December 31st, 2024. See Capital Tractor Montgomery and Brundage or KubotaUSA.com for details.
1819 News.
U.S. Congressman for Alabama Gary Palmer has been unseated as chairman of the House Republican Policy Committee. Members of the House voted on Wednesday and replaced Palmer with Congressman Kevin Hern of Oklahoma. In 2023, Palmer decided to run for re-election and by doing so break his pledge of limiting his terms in Congress to 5 in order to run for a 6th term. Palmer justified that decision since he had finally received a chairmanship to this policy committee. Palmer did win re-election to the House but lost his position. Palmer is also a committee member of the Republican Steering Committee, the House Oversight and Accountability Committee, and the House Energy and Commerce Committee. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Schaefer with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
A Mobile man who was out on bond for murder charges is now accused of committing another murder. Nyon Sanders was arrested this past Wednesday for the shooting of Joseph Evans Jr. on Monday night. Investigators say that Sanders let the battery die out in his ankle monitor, which he was wearing to be out on bond. Sanders was then able to travel to the apartment complex where Evans Jr. lived. Mobile County District Attorney Keith Blackwood is now telling WALA News that this crime is very concerning. The company that supplies the ankle monitors to the county has been identified as AccuPoint. Gobbler and Cobbler, 2 turkeys from the Bates Turkey Farm, will live to see another day after Governor Ivey issued a pardon this morning at the governor's mansion. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final hour here on a Thursday. This week is flying by.
It really has, man.
Had a lot of guests this week, too.
Coming up Friday night, before I forget.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I will be at the 1819 News Albert Patterson, their first annual gala event.
Oh, that sounds so exciting.
It's already sold out.
And
celebrating a few heroes, people that stood up. I believe Coach Tuberville will be honored that evening, along with a few others. Look, I'll be there. I was going to watch it with my grandfather, the Tyson Jake Paul fight.
As it gets closer, and I'm a man of a certain age at this point now, I want to see Mike Tyson knock him out, no doubt.
I would not want to do it.
No, I wouldn't.
Because have you seen, like, he's still...
I would fight neither one of them.
He's a killer.
Yeah, I would fight neither one of them. However, and I think I heard Rogan and some other people around my age say this, if Mike Tyson gets knocked out, that's going to do some emotional damage.
Emotional damage?
To some of us older men. Yeah, I'm telling you, because Mike Tyson was the beast. And in my mind, he still is. And Jake Paul, very proud of everything he's accomplished, not knocking him at all.
Right.
But it's
so
one of
you're
those,
nervous for Tyson?
I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. It's one of those times where, I hate to say it, but all of a sudden you little whippersnappers, if he knocks him out, y'all feel like, you're a little cocky. And then...
I guess my question is, has Tyson lost a step in his punch? I don't think he has.
I don't think not in the punch.
That's because it only takes one from that guy, and every freaking blow that isn't even to the noggin, it hurts. Like the power, the speed of that guy. I don't think that's gone away. Maybe it's obviously it's probably not the exact same when he was in his 20s.
Sure.
But still, it's the same human being.
But the one thing he's got, and we all have, old men, he has old man rage. And he
got off the cannabis.
He hadn't hit nobody really good in a long time.
And you've seen those interviews where he talked about the headspace he was in. Like, he was ready to kill somebody.
Yeah. So,
and if you're getting him back into that headspace, you get him off the marijuana.
I don't think it's healthy for them making him or him doing this. However, again, I'm looking forward to it. But, man, if he goes down, I'm telling you, every man 50 and older is going to probably shed a little bit of a tear for a second.
Yeah. Realizing your own mortality.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nature of the world, Eddie.
Yep.
Now, this clip, talk about nature of the world. This is an old Charlie Rose clip.
Oh, Charlie Rose.
And, I think anybody does a show this style where it's just a table, kind of blacked out set, and you're just talking. I think it's a great setup.
Oh, yeah.
I wish, actually, I don't like the bright daytime TV, all the lights and stuff. It would be like this sort of setting where you could really have the whole setting sets the mood.
It's an intimate setting.
And this is not just any old Charlie Rose clip. I'll pull it up full screen. Who's that there, Ed?
Oh, that's a Trumpster.
And he looks that's probably early 90s? Mid-90s?
Very young Trump.
Mid-90s, I think.
Yeah, I go with mid-90s.
So I think this is
Back
after
when he was hanging with Oprah.
This was after his bankruptcy stuff.
Oh, probably so.
So I think it's mid-90s. Let's listen in. This clip's been making the rounds because it applies today more than it did when Trump said it, talking about hard times back in the 90s. Let's listen in.
Then how are you different than you were 3 or 4 years ago?
Well, I used to say, and in fact, I think I said in my first book that, and maybe this was foolish, but I really meant it, that someday I'd like to maybe lose everything for a period of time to see who's loyal and who's not loyal. And frankly, I found out a lot of things.
Did you find out who's loyal and not
I'll
loyal?
tell you what, and you.
I bet he did.
Wow.
So loyalty has always been a big thing to this man.
Of course. Well, no, and it's also, think about that world that you're in, folks. Because most people don't know, you're not dealing with these types of people where when you have billions of dollars and you kind of have this brand that you've built, this persona that you've built, there's going to be a lot of people around you who don't actually love you. They love your money. They love your brand. They love the connection.
Yes. But you as a person.
They love your business.
Yeah.
You got to have that relationship.
For them, yeah.
Times get tough, though.
Gone.
No, and you see this as a two-way street. Trump is the one who helped out Dana White when UFC was really in trouble.
Yeah.
And they've been, friends for a very long time?
Great friends.
And there's a lot of those relationships in Trump's world. So I kind of, I think it was Eric Trump. He said his dad, before they go down the escalator in 2015, and they're up in his office. And it's the sons, it's like Don Jr., Eric Trump.
Yep.
And Trump says, we're about to find out who actually is loyal to us.
Yep.
And Eric Trump said he had a guy he went to elementary school with, knew him since third grade, had been lifelong friends. No longer friends. Just dropped him like a bad habit.
He was never your friend to begin with, man.
So if you're trying to think about, like, well, where's Trump coming from going in? This is higher stakes, by the way. The politics is even nastier than the, sort of entertainment business world. But let's hear it again, because it's amazing how history kind of repeats itself.
Then how are you different than you were 3 or 4 years ago?
Well, I used to say, and in fact, I think I said in my first book that, and maybe this was foolish, but I really meant it, that someday I'd like to maybe lose everything for a period of time to see who's loyal and who's not loyal. And frankly, I found out a lot of things.
Did you find out who's loyal and not loyal?
I tell you what, and you.
Yep.
And that's a fascinating idea. I want to lose everything to know who actually got my back.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah, when that happens, it's tough. It's really tough.
Sounds like you've been there.
Close.
272-9228. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Robert.
Thanks for letting me on. We was talking about the boxing match, and for the most part, I understand where Eddie's coming from. I love my Mike Tyson. He is a hammer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And but I don't even know the young guy.
Jake Paul?
Yeah.
This is my 2 cents from the far side, right?
All right.
Is I've always heard from old people, it's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And for my 2 cents, I'll take the 27-year-old. How about that, brother?
That's cool. A lot of people are taking that, Robert. And with me, personally, if I would probably look at the numbers, you're probably right to take the younger guy. I
don't
let
know
it go.
that I'd win. Yeah. Hey, Nick, that's the reason we say these things ahead of time. Because after the fight, we'll know the result.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I wonder how long it lasts, too.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's 5 rounds or 8. I think it's 5 or 8 rounds. And
if you're trying to knock down a 27-year-old, you either got the hammer or you don't.
Right.
And if you don't, you done outraged a 27-year-old.
Because wasn't Tyson's trick, it was his speed. And, of course, a lot of power there packed to that punch, but he was so daggum quick with his footwork and movement.
His rage.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this, too. Mike Tyson has a persona that it just knocked the britches off most folks.
You're right, Rob.
I would not get in the ring with Mike Tyson unless I had a contract, a life insurance policy, all kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, exactly. I'm the same way, man. I would run from that
But
fight.
anyway.
Well, I appreciate the call, Robert.
Thanks, Robert.
Yeah, y'all have a good one.
You too, buddy.
I just typed into AI saying, why was Mike Tyson such a great boxer?
Mm-hmm.
Came back with hand speed, accuracy, and timing. He had quick hands, was able to punch quickly despite his size.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive skills. He was an excellent defensive fighter who would use a peekaboo style to bob and weave through his opponent's punches. I'm thinking of the video clips I've seen. Attacking skills. Tyson was a brilliant attacker who could multitask by reading his opponent's moves and punching at the same time. Determination. Aggressive style. He was known for his ferocious and intimidating boxing style, which is a quality rarely found in modern-day boxers. And he holds the record as the youngest boxer to win the WBC, WBA, and IBF World Heavyweight titles. He was also the first heavyweight boxer to hold all three titles simultaneously. Yeah, and I think there's a fairly years-old Joe Rogan interview with him where he talks about that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those stories, and it pops up time and time again, where you come up and you have nothing. You literally have nothing.
You know what you got to lose?
Nothing. And so that fight to channel all that.
Yep.
And he did have to learn how to be a different person.
Well, one of the things, and it was an interview, he has a podcast, and he's on all kinds of people's podcasts. This is probably last year sometime, a younger guy, and Mike played him on, but a younger guy said something to Mike that would have normally, the Mike Tyson we knew, he would have grabbed that boy up and just broke his neck. But instead, Mike kind of looked at him and just kind of started teasing with him, but acting like he was mad. You literally saw in about 10 seconds, this dude starts sweating, and he goes, hey, man, we can cut this for a second. I hope I didn't mean nothing by that. And Mike couldn't hold it. He started laughing.
Right.
But dude, if that guy, he's that guy. He can turn it on just like that.
And he really described it as he becomes a different person.
Yes.
Like his mind changes, how it operates. It's pretty crazy.
But I am amazed to see, for one, Mike Tyson's still alive because we know the lifestyle he led. But for two, that he is more of a peaceful person than I ever thought he'd become.
And also publicly rehabilitated.
Yeah, 100%.
Because he had rape allegations against him, right?
Yeah.
He also bit the Holyfield's ear off.
Yeah. And then they made gummies.
Yeah. Yeah, they made marijuana cannabis gummies that look like little ears. Mike Tyson's brand of cannabis, yeah.
Yeah.
What a world we live in.
But if someone like Mike Tyson, and we know the rage he had, if he gets high and he calms down, I would think everybody would go, you know what, a little bit of weed ain't going to hurt nobody. If it can calm him down.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and the team are ready to help you with buying or selling property here in the River Region real estate market. Bo's been helping folks in this area for nearly half a century now. And not only do they help you with buying and selling property, they have management services available should you want to rent out your home. Great idea in this market, really is. But, managing a property yourself if you have no experience, probably not the best idea. Why not have the Goodson Group for a reasonable fee do that for you? And the crown jewel there is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed in the state. Because of Bo's experience being brought to bear, he's been through it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's a very interactive course. And, you also see all the proof in the success out of graduates. People have graduated from the Bo Goodson Real Estate School and become much better as private players, much more knowledgeable, or fully licensed realtors. So check them out today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program. Now, shifting gears here a little bit.
All right.
One of the guys that's, I think, keeping CNN afloat is this Scott Jennings character.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
Well, they did this like at the end of one of the, I think it's Abby Phillips' show.
Okay.
I wonder if she's single. And she'd never go for a
kidding me?
Guy like me.
She's seen all the rest. She's looking for the best. I'm going to send you your name.
You do that. You do that. You don't need a nightlight when he's around. And watch out, if you do it with the lights off, he might sneak that dark MAGA hat on. Anyway. I just think she's very pretty.
I agree. I do agree.
Anyway, it's one of these panel shows, and it's at the end of the show, they're like, what's your thing for today? And some guy talked about like this alien UAP hearings and all that was pretty crazy.
That's coming up.
And maybe we can get to some of those clues. But then Scott Jennings went to the issue of Florida, now needing a new senator because Marco Rubio, is going to be the next Secretary of State. So, who is Ron DeSantis going to pick? Is DeSantis going to tap himself? Well, that seems a little inappropriate to do in public.
Now, yes. I would hope
is he going to tap Senator Brett? And a few others are saying go with Laura Trump.
Laura Trump?
And I think Laura Trump wants it. That
really?
Might be, that might be
I
a
didn't know
good
she was
pick.
interested. Really?
Yeah, she's a very competent person.
Okay.
But then Scott Jennings had another idea, and I think all those are very good. I think Senator Britt's got a good idea with Laura Trump. I think Ron DeSantis himself being tapped, good idea. Others have come up with if Matt Gaetz doesn't, because he resigned so quick from the House and he doesn't make it.
Oh, he's going to make it.
Through the AG process, he's going to make it. I'm
But if he don't,
I'm going to get the Batman.
That's right.
He's going to make it. But if he doesn't, maybe you could make just Matt Gaetz a senator. So after the senators reject him, just make him a colleague of those people that just rejected him.
Now I kind of want to get him rejected.
So there's all these ideas, but it is not as good as the idea that Scott Jennings came up with. And he's the one guy keeping CNN worth watching. Let's listen in together.
All right. If Marco Rubio does in fact become Secretary of State, we're going to need a new senator from the state of Florida, and we need someone with Rubio's national security credentials. Now, there's one Floridian who can do it. He stood up to the Russians and the Iranians in the 1980s when he defeated the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, two of America's most lethal foes. He is a real American. He fights for the rights of every man. He knows that courage is the thing that keeps us free. Ladies and gentlemen, I announce Ron DeSantis, get on it. Hulk Hogan for U.S. Senate. And what you going to do, Chuck Schumer, when Hulkamania runs wild on you, brother?
It's not a serious thing, but I want it to happen so bad.
Joey, stranger things have happened in the last several months.
Amazing.
I would love to see Hulk run a promo on him. Just bust a promo on Mitch.
Yeah, I've been saying for years with Karine Jean-Pierre, let me tell you something me.
Yes.
Gene.
Oh, I would love. There's so many of them. I would love to Hulk just go down the list. Got to go run a promo on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would be great.
It's a fun time where it does seem like it's not, anything isn't possible, but it does feel like anything is possible.
Really does.
People are really high on this election. It's kind of fun.
Well, honestly, look at where we were 4 weeks ago. And even in my business, people in my business, everybody was nervous as they can be. This has been a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah.
People were making very different alternative plans.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, this is a big sigh of relief.
I was ready to dig a bunker.
For your gold?
No, for me. I don't know what good the gold will be doing me in the bunker. I would need lead, too.
Yep. To buy that lead, it's going to require gold.
And also, if you really think about it, it's like, damn, if you're in that sort of like Walking Dead situation, like you can be prepared, like all the stuff, but are you really prepared?
You could be prepared for, like you're saying, all the stuff.
Yeah.
Are you prepared for the bear? Are you prepared for the poison ivy?
Yeah.
Are you prepared for scurvy? Are you prepared when your shelter burns to the ground?
And also, I've heard soldiers talk about this. Like people, like when you had to look at a lineup, and you go, "Who's the badass?"
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. Serious, and even the people themselves probably don't know. Like, I mean, some do, but there's some people you look at, you're like, nothing's nope.
Right.
And then other guys, that shrimp.
Look at the ears.
The ears.
Always look at the ears. If a man's got cauliflower ears, stay away.
And forearms. You get that old man strength. It's all in the forearms.
Yep. I'm telling you.
Right.
You don't want to be on the ground and then notice the ears.
Right. I used to wrestle. It's like, oh no. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Careful. Yeah, I don't know about that guy. 272-9228. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Good afternoon. This is Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, y'all get ready for some increase in heavy traffic over there after the inauguration. All these government people having to go back to work in their buildings. Going to be a little more crowded on the highway, don't you think?
I think it's going to get a lot of people to quit, and we have yet to even mention the Department of Doge. There's an interview, I guess, Sean Hannity did with Ramaswamy last night, and I don't think Sean understands what they're
not getting it.
What they're about to do. Yeah.
Yeah. My neighbor works for the government, and I was just talking to him today. You know, I was over there about something. I said, "Well, it looks like you go back to work." He said, "No, I'm going to retire."
See?
He's been working out of his house for 2 years.
Yep.
Just, I've never seen him really work. I've seen him in his yard working and doing a bunch of stuff. But I said, "Well, Vivek says you all going back to work." He said, "No, I'm retiring."
They're either going to retire.
So that's what's going to happen. It's going to weed
yeah.
out all the deadbeats.
It is, and I can't wait. Cannot wait.
Yep. And this stuff that I heard, and I know y'all heard it, where they're talking about all these things the government was giving money to. My gosh. I mean, just insane things that they were doing with our money.
Oh, it's going to get worse. The list, when they do make some adjustments, the list that they're going to be forced to produce, oh, it's going to be bad. It's going to tick some.
And just seeing not just Trump himself, but the people Trump's picking, I keep thinking of, I don't know if you know this, Jim, you probably do, Eddie. It was that classic clip where Bernie Mac is on Def Comedy Jam, and he's like, "Y'all don't understand. I ain't scared of you."
Yep.
And I can't say the next word on air, but there's something about, there's an energy of like, I'm ready to talk down any crowd, any entrenched interest. Y'all bring it on.
Cat Williams. Got that energy.
Yeah, it's going to be, and what I like, and what I like about the Doge is these two guys, they're billionaires. Nobody's going to pay them. They don't have anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not in it for. They're not in it for anything. Nobody can try to do anything to sway them. They're doing this because they want to straighten this mess out. So, unlike in past, where somebody was supposed to be investigating something, and, a little kickback here and a kickback there, and look the other way.
Yep.
No, ain't going to happen this time.
Well,
so
it's going to be fun to watch.
Floating heads ahead.
Yes, sir.
It is going to be fun to watch.
Appreciate the call, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, y'all have a go.
You too, buddy.
Yeah, and I kind of love it when, like, I've been paying attention, and how we presented some of Vivek's speech at the America First Policy Institute. I'm amazed at like how many, maybe certain people are aware of it, they just don't want to amplify it. Or I think there are a lot of folks who just aren't aware. They're like, well, you obviously need, because I can play the clips. Hannity, my adopted godfather, it was a terrible thing I did.
Yeah, you
but
should talk to him.
he seemed lonely at the time.
Right now, he needs help, I'll be honest.
But he seemed just lost. He had Vivek on last night, and he's like, so you're in your recommendations to Congress? They turned down some commission in the 80s, and I'm just watching this going, Sean, have you done any homework? And Vivek was trying to get that across to him. He's like, well, forget this, Sean. And this is to Jim's point, there's a bunch of folks who are still working from home. So if you want to keep working for us, come in 5 days a week.
Yeah, I think that's 20. I think that'll literally take care of 25%.
But then Vivek put out this tweet. When did he put this out? Oh, like the 13th, yesterday? Yesterday morning, Vivek put this out.
All right.
He says, here's a key point about our mission at Doge. Eliminating bureaucratic regulations isn't a mere policy preference. It's a legal, and he emphasized this, mandate from the United States Supreme Court. West Virginia v. EPA held that agencies cannot decide major questions of economic or political significance without clear congressional authorization. This applies to thousands of rules that never pass Congress. Loper Bright v. Raimondo. The court ended Chevron deference. This happened in 2024, which means agencies can't foist their own interpretations of the law onto the American people. Over 18,000 federal cases cited the Chevron doctrine, often to uphold regulations, many of which are now null and void. In SEC v. Jarsky, or if that's how you say it, Jarski. Another 2024 case. The Supreme Court of the United States restricted the use of, quote, administrative law judges, end quote, by agencies. The same agency that wrote the rule shouldn't be able to prosecute citizens in courts that it controls. And in Corner Post v. Board of Governors, another 2024 Supreme Court case, the court held that new businesses can challenge old regulations, greatly expanding the statute of limitations and opening many more rules up for scrutiny.
Yes.
So we shouldn't just look at rules passed in the last 4 years, but over the past 4 decades or more. Doge is ready to help the U.S. government conform to the U.S. Constitution once again. Elon Musk and I, says Vivek Ramaswamy, are ready to serve. I freaking love it, man. I really do love it. And then you should follow. It's a great follow on X. There is now an official X account for Doge. It's at DOGE, at DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. It already has 1.2 million followers. And their first tweet was, working overtime to ensure your tax dollars will be spent wisely. Then they put out this missive about 5 hours ago today. We are very grateful to the thousands of Americans who have expressed interest in helping us at Doge. We don't need more part-time idea generators. Damn, I guess we're out.
Too bad.
We need super high IQ, small government revolutionaries willing to work 80-plus hours per week on unglamorous cost-cutting. If that's you, DM this account with your CV. Elon and Vivek will review the top 1% of applicants. I'm loving this so much.
I do too.
Like, what a day. What a day. But I want to end this segment with a little perspective. Do you know the parable of the Mexican fisherman?
No.
You don't. The parable of the Mexican fisherman. This is from Chris Williamson.
Okay.
An American investment banker was at the pier of a small coastal Mexican village when a small boat with just one fisherman docked. Inside the small boat were several large yellowfin tuna. The American complimented the Mexican on the quality of his fish and asked how long it took to catch them. The Mexican replied, only a little while. The American then asked, why didn't he stay out longer and catch more fish? The Mexican said he had enough to support his family's immediate needs. The American then asked, but what do you do with the rest of your time? The Mexican fisherman said, I sleep late, fish a little, play with my children, take siestas with my wife, Maria, and stroll into the village each evening where I sip wine and play guitar with my amigos. I have a full and busy life. The American scoffed. I have an MBA from Harvard and can help you, he said. You should spend more time fishing, and with the proceeds, buy a bigger boat. With the proceeds from the bigger boat, you could buy several boats and eventually would have a fleet of fishing boats. Instead of selling your catch to a middleman, you could sell directly to the processor, eventually opening up your own cannery. You could control the production, processing, and distribution, he said. Of course, you would need to leave this small coastal fishing village and move to Mexico City, then Los Angeles, and eventually to New York City, where you will run your expanding enterprise. The Mexican fisherman asked, but how long will this take? To which the American replied, 15 or 20 years. Or so. But what then? Asked the Mexican. The American laughed and said, that's the best part. When the time is right, you would announce an IPO and sell your company stock to the public and become very rich. You would make millions. Millions? Then what? The American said, then you could retire. Move to a small coastal fishing village where you could sleep late, fish a little, play with your kids, take siestas with your wife, and stroll to the village in the evenings where you could sip wine and play guitar with your amigos. Life is often simpler than we make it. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, There are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, in stock specials on waterproof luxury vinyl plank and engineered hardwood flooring at blowout sale prices. H&H Carpet, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
We've got a fresh supply of fall air engulfing the state, and that's going to make the nights very chilly. Clear sky tonight, overnight low temperature down to about 48. Tomorrow, we may not make it to 70 degrees for the high. I've got us in the upper 60s for Friday. Lots of sunshine. It'll be really chilly tonight. We'll be in the mid-40s by dawn on Saturday morning, with Saturday's high up to about 72. Sunday's high is 74. We'll be in the 40s at night, and lots of sunshine over the weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. This part of News and Views. What, you cracking up at the music?
I'm cracking up in my mind, seeing Joey going doop 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 doop.
No, it's more one hand on a keyboard.
Well, now you're killing why I'm cracking up. I like
right. You want it to be on a tiny little MIDI controller?
Exactly.
No, that's not how it works.
In my mind, that's exactly how it works.
Actually, it was first on a guitar, and then you layer that with synths.
See, now you're killing it.
Yeah.
I see you on the little Casio keyboard. Doop, 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 like Bobby Belcher. Doop, 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 doop.
Anyway, Dylan Rings.
I love Dylan Rings.
You got to get by there, folks. They're extending some of the sales.
Really?
The ladies' night was so packed. They know they weren't able to get to everyone how they should have. So they're extending these sales till Christmas, 30% off on a whole lot of items. Incredible necklaces in particular, you can go check out on Facebook. Just search for Dylan Rings, DYLAN Rings on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just the amazing selection because, yes, Christmas is going to be here before you know it. I think it's 41 days.
Holy cow, 41 days.
Yeah. So get your shopping done, or ladies, go, get your own gift and then put it, you know how it works. Better than I do. But, of course, maybe you want to get a custom design thing done before Christmas. Well, time is running out. Or it could be you want to clean up some jewelry with a spa treatment. Maybe you want to get jewelry appraised. With inflation, how it's been the last several years.
Good point,
if you haven't had that jewelry looked at and appraised for a while, especially if it's, say, an heirloom and antique, it's been passed down through the generations, go get it appraised there at Dylan Rings. They really can do it all. Of course, basic repairs or sprucing something up. Again, they do it all. So check them out today. That's Dylan Rings at 119 Brown Springs Road. Stop by there. It's just off Atlanta Highway, kind of the AUM complex is, and where Old Fun Zone used to be, that old big platform back there. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Now, there's been a lot happening. Did you see that Gary Palmer, you know how we talked to him on Wednesday after the election?
I really like Gary.
And he was ready to go, all these ideas in the hopper?
Yeah.
He lost. He won his reelection.
Okay.
He lost the internal election on the policy committee to Oklahoma's Kevin Hearn. Gary Palmer is no longer the chairman on the House GOP policy committee. Now, does that mean all the ideas are on the back? No.
No.
But that sucks.
Thank you. I agree.
He lost by, I
100%.
think, like 11 votes. Lauren Boebert voted for herself. That sexy, saucy minx. I mean, not really. You could tell how quick you get tired of her. That's just untoward. I'm sorry I even said that. But it's true. Like, you're cute, but I'm tired of you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that sucks.
That does suck. Now, explain something to me, political guy. Does that mean that the folks that were to vote for him did not like his particular ideas? So they
No, I don't think it's an ideas thing. I think it might be a money thing. Could be just a relationship.
That's what I'm wondering. If it's, yeah.
Yeah, it's not just ideas.
I
I think
really
a lot
like
of the ideas he discussed with us last
solid.
week are going to be still.
I hope so, because he had some great stuff.
Right. That stings. Yeah. But we'll still welcome to have Gary Palmer back on the show. Coach Tuberville now saying, I'm looking forward to working with new majority leader John Thune, despite backing opponent. Donald Trump said the same thing. Looking forward to working with John Thune, getting this thing done.
Well, wasn't one of his first statements basically was he was looking forward to getting Trump's appointments
done quickly? Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see. We'll definitely see. Oh, but then there's a story I found here. Number one, I don't know how much detail I want to get into this, but the headline's pretty amazing. The Onion. You remember The Onion? Hadn't been good in a while.
Well, it's been a while.
You know, InfoWars has been shut down in bankruptcy court, and it was put up for auction. The Onion.
Onion bought it?
Bought InfoWars.
How much did it say? Just wondered what kind of deal they could have got at the bankruptcy auction. And
The Onion has successfully acquired InfoWars. By the way, folks are like, we got him. It's like, no, Alex Jones was in a new studio.
And he moved on.
And he had over like 500,000 people watching him just on X.
Right.
I think the guy's going to be all right.
I think so.
I'm looking for a... No, I don't see a price tag on it.
It had to be bottom, bargain basement type price.
Right. Especially because I don't think the Onion's got that much capital
my
they're
other
sitting
thought
on.
Yeah.
But then here's a story that it's across the pond.
Over in Britain.
And maybe this is just perverse of me, but that's par for the course. A headline in the Telegraph. Soldiers caught having sex in Apache gunship. 2 soldiers were caught having sex in the cockpit of an Apache gunship. The pair, who are believed to be under the influence of alcohol, were discovered in the act by their colleagues. They were allegedly engaged in intercourse in the back of a 2-seater AH-64 gunship. A ground crew is understood to have approached the aircraft to fit rain covers after a nighttime servicing. Is that what we're calling it? Nighttime servicing. But then reportedly heard unusual noises. Ooh.
That ain't a helicopter noise right there.
That's a ghost, guys. It's a ghost of the... Ooh. But they then reportedly heard unusual noises and saw that the rotors were swaying up and down.
Man.
An air safety report, which was seen by the newspaper after it became available owing to a technical glitch, said, quote, It became apparent that the rear cockpit was occupied by two people engaged in sexual intercourse. Both were naked from the waist down, the male in uniform, the female in civilian attire.
Well, all right.
They were ordered to exit the cockpit and get dressed. Both parties were serving soldiers. Both showed symptoms of intoxication. The gunship is said to have belonged to the Army Air Corps 653rd Squadron, but the soldiers were from a separate unit thought to be Royal Artillery.
As a man and woman, though, right?
Apaches are considered robust enough to operate from the deck of ships and are typically able to withstand rough weather. I love that. That's the last sentence.
There's not a whole lot of room in there, though, Joey.
That is, okay, whoever wrote that's dry. Whoever wrote that for the Telegraph, that's amazing. That's a great last sentence right there.
Hey, man. It ain't the first time. It ain't going to be the last.
And when the mood hits.
I've been in this world for many years, Joey. People are going to people. And that's just people peopling.
Yeah, people going to people.
Yep.
I think you said it very well. People
are going to people.
They're going to people. The rotors are going up and down.
That's a dead giveaway. So when you see helicopters now in the field, when you drive by them, are you going to see if the rotors are going up and down? If they're giving you the signal?
Goodness gracious. On that note, we got to hit a break, but we have another sponsor I want to remind you about.
All right.
That is Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. And they're at Smokehouse, well, they got it going on. Back to the original barbecue recipes. They are a true destination for breakfast. You go, wait, a barbecue joint? Breakfast? Yes.
Yes. They've got a great breakfast.
It's the best. It's the best.
It is.
Bar none. The cheese grits are to die for. Every side I've gotten with, can't go wrong with Conecuh. But their bacon is big.
Yep.
And a one order of bacon, 3 big slices.
Crispy
That's
bacon.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can get custom-made biscuits or breakfast sandwiches or a breakfast bowl with a bunch of stuff piled in there, or a big fat boy breakfast with a big old pancake and a huge sampling of all their breakfast meats.
Well, that sounds so good.
You could even get a fried bologna biscuit.
I'd take that with a smile.
And then they have special hours for Thanksgiving.
Oh, do they?
They're thankful for the opportunity to serve you this holiday season right at their restaurant. So Thanksgiving Day, they'll be open from 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m.
All right. Oh, cool.
Yeah, you can go get breakfast.
That's great, man.
They're there to make your Thanksgiving preparations a breeze. From bulk pickups to dining in-house, they've got you covered. Yeah. So you can go eat there, or you can go pick up from the great menu they have here. So what's the Thanksgiving menu? They have fried turkey, smoked ham, fried chicken, fried pork chops. Ooh. Sides include things like cornbread dressing, mashed potatoes and gravy, sweet potato casserole, corn on the cob, butter beans, green beans, cinnamon apples, glazed carrots, yummy, black-eyed peas, collards, deviled eggs, mac and cheese, fried okra, french fries, onion rings, and then we haven't even gotten to dessert, pecan cobbler, peach cobbler, blackberry cobbler, double chocolate chip brownie.
I do love a brownie.
Peanut butter pie. I want it all.
I do.
Put it all in my belly. And then if you do want to cater, they have a special deal, a feast for $15 for $250. 1 smoked turkey breast, 1 smoked ham, or 2 fried turkey breasts, choice of 3 sides that we just listed out, 15 rolls and a dessert. So it's a meal for $15. It's a big old honking meal. Of course, you can get
good deal.
Whole smoked turkey, 20 pounds for about just shy of $100, $92. A whole fried turkey, a 13-pounder for $66.99.
Ooh, that's a pretty good deal.
So y'all essentially just go to Smokehouse Pit Barbecue on Facebook. You can see all this Thanksgiving menu. And why don't you do this? Go by there before Thanksgiving. Get the breakfast. Get to know the place. And then be like, I think we're going to have them cater our Thanksgiving.
I think
or we're just going to eat there on the day.
It's a great idea.
And when you stop by, be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hey guys, this is Todd Clark with River Region Contracting, your premier roofing contractor in Central Alabama. So remember the name, River Region Contracting, for all your roofing needs. We're not affiliated with any other roofing company in the River Region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
Hey, this is Lyle from Margaret's Exquisite Jewelry, and I do my radio advertising on Blue Water. I'll tell you what, I use most of the stations, and I've been using it for so long. It's hard to tell with the money you spend on advertising if it does any good. When they come in and say, I heard you on the radio, I know it's Blue Water, and I love Blue Water.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Sam, and I am so excited to tell you the last car I bought, it came from Riverside Chevrolet. Now get a load of this. Not only do they have a friendly staff that will answer any question at Riverside, they also have a finance department second to none, and a service department that's rated #1. Anything from pre-love to brand spanking new, cars, trucks, vans, they have it all. And at Riverside Chevrolet, you get first-class service. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net or check them out on Facebook. Great reviews. You'll love it.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1 WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones, talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
Hey, crazy question.
Mm-hmm.
Were you out at the Italian restaurant downtown Montgomery last night?
No.
Could have been your twin brother.
Really?
I almost said something. I said, I don't know. Because he looked at me, I looked at him, and I thought, and I kept on walking, and he's like, what's that? I said, I swear that guy looks just like Joey, but I'm not sure.
My doppelganger exists.
I'm glad I did not say anything last night. That would have been embarrassing.
Well, Ray, whenever you think you see Joey in the wild, just snap a photo. Because it's very rare to see Joey in the wild.
It's true.
I
mean, I do go out.
Yeah, I know, but it's very rare to see Joey in the wild.
Except for at 5:30 when I go home, I throw my phone in the drawer and I don't pull it back out until I go back to work.
You're a smart man, right?
That is wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, the problem is, like, I'm gonna take Angie out for her birthday, right?
Okay.
And I'm hyperactive, ADHD all day long. And if I bring my phone, what am I going to be doing?
You playing with that phone?
I'm going to be watching TikTok and having a really bad life after I spend a bunch of money. That does me no good at all.
Agreed.
Yeah. So the best thing to do is I'll leave it at home.
Man, this is a wise man.
Yeah. Take my guys. If you're taking your wife out for a birthday dinner, do not take your phone.
Yep.
If the kids need you, they can call the police department.
Just like the old days.
Yeah, they'll be fine. I mean, they know how to call 911.
That's right. You leave them the 911 number, they'll be fine.
Yeah. Somebody will be over to help y'all a little bit. Leave us alone for the next 3 hours.
That's right.
But hey, don't forget, if you need a floor, call us 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement. Next thing you know, you got a floor down just that quick.
Again, that number is 285-8117. And be sure to tell them when you call up 285-8117 that you heard Ray on the radio giving not only a great pitch for coming to buy floors, but marriage advice as well.
Great marriage advice.
Yeah, just trunk the phone in that's the downside. I mean, the guys that are listening to me that are hyperactive, they understand what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you can't help but look at TikTok. I had to take it off my phone. And all my friends are sending me TikToks, and I can't watch them. I'm like, I got to get rid of it.
Yeah, they stopped that functionality for me, too. Yep. Like, you got to have the talk now.
Unless you text it to them.
No, I even then, it doesn't work on my phone.
No,
iPhone.
It don't work.
Yeah.
So.
You get Apple.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good day.
See you, bud.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. So what did we learn today?
We didn't get to talk about it, and they're just now covering. But one of the stories I wanted to talk about was more about Kamala and not going on Joe Rogan and some of the rules. They only get funnier. One of the things was he could not discuss marijuana legalization, period. No marijuana talk. And he's like, what am I going to say? She's hooked on pot or something? He's like, I'm just trying to get to know her. But they put so many ridiculous restrictions on that the interview would have gone something like, what is your name? Hi, I'm Joe.
Oh, wow. No wonder he turned it down. Thank God he did.
I'm glad he did, too.
Because these people are so fake, man.
Well, that was one of the things they were worried about was they literally put it out there that Kamala is great at reading. However, on the spot, she's not so good.
Oh, my God.
We dodged a bullet, folks.
Oh, and more than that.
Yeah.
We dodged a bullet, then fired another one off at the other sniper, and now we're dancing on the rooftops. Like,
true, Joey.
Yeah. Like, what a crazy time. Now, I think we have time because, sometimes politics gets a little too heavy.
Yes, it can.
So people are sharing this might be the greatest clip of all time, the greatest TikTok of all time. And it's somebody just recording their TV. It was an actual local news report. And what we're seeing here is a guy dressed up in medieval attire. I guess he's a LARPer. Let's listen in.
We were in the middle of our tournament when my friend John said he found a body in the bushes over there. I ran over there because I'm a healing monk to try and help, but obviously my magic wasn't strong enough because the dude's body was missing a head. So my friend decided to try and use a necromancer spell, which didn't work, which I knew it wouldn't. And apparently we contaminated the crime scene because that spell uses a lot of glitter.
God bless America. Oh, wow. And on that note, we got to get out of here. Happy Hour with Greg Budell, Rosie Brock, the whole crew. They're next. Y'all stay tuned.
From the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. One of the nation's largest meat processors agreeing to pay $2 million to resolve allegations of child labor violations at a plant in Minnesota. The Smithfield Packaged Meats employed at least 11 children at its plant in St. James, ages 14 to 17. Wholesale prices